moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shedding crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding crew. Win or lose, still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew, born for this. I'm still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shed and crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew, born for this. I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shedding crew. Born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue.
Yes, good people. Big up to all of you. I do hope you're all doing well, and I appreciate you all finding the time to be with me once again for another edition of the Blue Morning Show. I do hope you're all doing well. We don't have too much lined up to talk about today, but as usual, because we keep it interactive here, chances are we'd talk a lot about the little we'll have lined up to discuss. And if at the end of the day anything new emerges, we usually go news hunting, and the rest assured, this will be one of the first places you'll hear about them. So we talk about your Hato to Chelsea, Xavi Simons to Chelsea, whether we get here we go soon for both players, and then we talk about Garnacho. It's not going away, and you can protest all you want. If the club wants him, they get the deal over the line. We'll talk about Morgan Rogers and a new deal for Cucurella. And I think maybe the club will, after all, make an exception. I don't. As I argued a few days ago, it's going to be difficult. But I don't. Right now is the time to try and get him to sign a new deal. Hopefully, he'd be willing to sign a new deal, the new format, the heavily incentivized contract that we offer to players these days. But that's by the way, I do hope you're all doing well. Please keep dropping the likes on the stream, and also do subscribe to Chelsea Perspective if you haven't. Yes, shamelessly, we still do beg for likes because we're not a big account yet, but we're growing. And thanks to you. And honestly, we couldn't have done it alone. So, but we're getting there gradually. Right now, we are at 27,169 subscribers. So very soon we'll get to 28,000 subscribers, hopefully to 30 by the time the transfer window shuts. But that's by the way, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. 32 likes on YouTube. That's not no 5 likes on YouTube, 32 followers, and in total we have 94 followers, or 94 people following the show. 30 on YouTube, the rest on X, shared between X and Facebook, whether equally. I honestly do not know. But that's by the way, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. And without wasting much of your time, we will start addressing the items we have lined up. And as I've said before, if at the end of the day, if we exhaust all the news items we have lined up, with go news hunting as usual. There's always something new out there that we haven't seen. Um, and yeah, I like the name. And big up to you, Ty. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. And help the command there says press your screen for about a second to see the like, comment options. Swipe up to go full screen. Yes, because we're streaming in a vertical format. It's so novice to a lot of people. They don't know how to get to find the like button and help us garner more likes, which will in turn trigger the YouTube algorithm and get it to push the stream to more people who'd be interested in the topics we have lined up. So please help us keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. Icon Clone, how did you pronounce your last name? Icon Clonoa, or let me just call you Leon. Actually, not Icon. Even though I have glasses on, I couldn't read that correctly. Jeez. Okay, Leon Clonoa. Or is it Clonoa? I agree with you to give Cucurella a new deal. It's up to the club, but it looks like they want to give him one. The question now is, will the player accept what they'd be offering, what they're offering him? We'll find out. A big up to you too, IB. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. And I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. It's 5:19 a.m. For me, but thank you to all of you. So the first item here, I think we'll read three tabs in a three tabs in a row. Again, one after the other, because they're related. So the first item here, according to Simon Johnson Sport, it reads: Jorrel, Hato, and Xavi Simmons have become the main focus, to be more specific, for Chelsea Football Club. However, that does not mean that Chelsea spending is over this summer. We did discuss that at length the other day, which led to me saying it looks like the aim is to win everything. And I said, that's okay by me. You aim to win everything. If you end up winning at least a two, three, that'd be a great season. Honestly, I'm happy. The ambition is there for everyone to see. But yeah, let's see what happens. So the next item here, after that one in particular, reads that was yesterday by Fabrizio Romano. I'm seeing um, some outlets and with fresher content, fresher news items are suggesting the Euro ahead to deal to Chelsea isn't quite there yet because there's a disparity between how much Chelsea are willing to offer and how much Ajax are looking for the player. But this particular report from the transfer guru himself, Fabrizio Romano, but this was yesterday, to be clear. It reads, understand Euro had to deal now very close with Chelsea. Here we go, coming soon. So he's confident. And whenever you hear this from the transfer guru himself, hardly ever have I seen any of the deals in question fall through. The second paragraph, a short one line paragraph, it reads: negotiations at final stages with Ajax after a new direct talks today. Hato waiting for green light to travel and go sign with Chelsea as soon as possible. It looks like it's going to happen, but it's not. You can't say it just because the Fabrizio says this that certainly, yeah, it's happening. But it's usually a good sign. Hardly ever, again, if he says this for again, I can't quite remember where he said a situation where he said such where he said here we go or here we go soon and the deal ends up falling through. I have never. Maybe I just can't remember. But that's by the way. IB, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. And we have Steve Igben. That sounds like a Nigerian name there. His comment reads: Chelsea FC has one of the most injury-ridden defensive line, consistent of Rhys James, Fofana, Lavia, Badia, Sheila, Kellerman, Levi Kowa. So how do we want it to compete with top six teams? I think that's a bit exaggerated right there, and you're mixing midfielders with defenders, but probably because you've listed you listed one defensive midfielder, so that counts too. But no, I think that's a bit exaggerated there. And Kellyman isn't. I wouldn't count him as part of our defensive line. I wouldn't. Fafana, I think even with in his absence, I think we can still do well. But yeah, do we have injury issues? I'd say yes, but that's a bit of exaggerated in my opinion. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. We must bear that in mind as we go into the coming season, not to you can say not to be too hopeful, or you can say not to hope too much on our defensive line staying fit throughout the season. Maybe getting one good defender in. I think Hato for me, I think that'd be enough. I think it'd be over the board to try to sign one more defender. Then you could argue could lead to us having a bloated squad. But that's just my opinion anyway. And we have a CFC Blues. Let us big up to you too. I do hope you're doing well, and thank you so much for finding the time to be part of the conversation. 8 likes, and we have 49 people following the show. At least if half of you take the time to like the video, we'll have at least 20 likes. But you know, as I said before, because we stream in vertical format, a lot of people don't really know how to find the bells and whistles of the stream. Which, if you look, there's a pinned comment there. If you press and hold your screen for just about a second, you'd see the options to like, comment, share, and also join the live conversation there. So please keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Big up to you too. And I think Hato is the best for Chelsea because Cuckoo needs a backup. I wouldn't say backup. Hato, I think we're getting to a lot of top teams in Europe. But I think because we like Cucurella and because he's already established himself as a regular, as a starter at Chelsea, and he's good. So it's easy to just say, what's his name? Jorrel Hato comes in and becomes his backup. I don't think so. If you mentioned that during the conversation, where you could argue the manager or maybe the sporting directors were able to convince him to want to come to us, I think he'd look the other way. Remember, we heard that he rejected Real Madrid. I think one other club was mentioned yesterday also. What did try did inquire to see if he'd be willing to join them, and he said no to two top clubs. I can't remember one of them, but he said no to Real Madrid. I remember seeing that. So my point is, as good as he is, I don't think we're signing him to be Cucurella's backup. I think we're signing him so the manager he'd have the luxury to rotate and not burn out Cucurella or burn him out. I think there are things he does better than Cucurella. I think he's quicker than Cucurella. Yeah, but I need to take a closer look at both players to be able to highlight or maybe see all the aspect of their games of how they differ. And I think actually in most games we'll actually see both on the pitch at the same time. Why? Because Hato he can fulfill the left centre back role effectively, actually. But I'm not concerned, and I think we should stop using the term backup. When I saw Fabrizio, when he one of the state you could say report, I wouldn't call that report. I think it's a mix of where we are at the negotiations with Ajax and how he sees his role at Chelsea. I think for me, using the term backup, if I were Hato and if I wasn't sure what you can say my role, what would be my role if I joined Chelsea and I see my name being again referenced as backup to Cucurella, I turn around as long as you can say I'm confident in my abilities to become a starter somewhere else. I turn around. Why come to Chelsea? And Cucurella isn't old. At 27, he still has about 3 years more to go. So, but the language backup for me, I don't like using that. And big clubs don't do backups. Big clubs do competition. You sign players to come and compete with your best players, and if they prove to be again, you have two players in each position. Whoever proves to be the better of the two players that you have in a particular position gets to be the starting player. That way, you again, whoever comes on does a good job, an equally good job, or maybe an even better a job than the person than the regular starter, if that makes sense. All right, let's see. Emma Alexandra, thank you for joining the conversation. It doesn't matter whether you're Arsenal fan or not. but I'm not going to read that. Steve Igban says, Guehi, please, in addition to Hato. I think Guehi probably overpriced for us right now, but oh yeah, I wouldn't say overpriced. Dante did mention that we have a clause. I think 20%. So 20% out of around something north of 70 million pounds. I think it wouldn't be a bad price for him. But um, I don't know. Do we really need Guehi? Maybe yes. I'd rather we keep Chaloba than sign Guehi. Chaloba for me, I can't believe I'm saying this. Really, he does come across as more comfortable on the ball than Guehi. But Guehi more of a leader than Chaloba is. But Chaloba goes about his business under the radar and gets the job done. And I think Maresca likes him. And I'm going to say something that I did say a few days ago. If Chalobah ends up leaving Chelsea, it'd be because he wants to leave. Probably because he's not too sure what happens if Chelsea brings in another good defender, whether he still be again be seen as a starter. And right now, I think we have just about, you could say, uh, the correct number of CBs, where Enzo Maresca, he has the luxury to change the pairing of centre backs that starts in a particular game based on the opposition. And with Hato coming in, I think we don't need to sign any more defenders. But I'm not the manager; he knows what he wants, and I think it'd be correct to say we should just trust him. If he feels like we have good enough number and balance, up to him. Excuse me, sorry about that. And I'm going to take a sip of my coffee before I lose my voice. And more importantly, before I forget, we're world champions, and it be like that for for the next 3 years plus. So I hope you're still celebrating. I haven't, and since we won the Club World Cup, I can't remember again what day since then that I haven't rewatched the game more than once. Yeah, and you can't blame me. But that's by the way. Keep dropping the likes in the stream. The likes do go a long way. The prince is here, as the band would say. I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Thank you for joining. So right now we're talking about Hato. Yeah. What's up? Yeah, Caleb reaches. What's up to you too? I do hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. And we have a Chelsea King 879. A big up. And you're so correct. We are buying Hato as a rotation for Marc. But I also think he might start in cup games. I mean, his integration will definitely be a gradual process. And that's something. Houston, I know he's very good. He's really, really good. I love Cucurella, but I have to say this. I think, let me not just go into discussing who's better than the other or who has a lot more to their game than the other person. I don't think it makes sense. We're just blessed. Hopefully, we get the deal or across the line. We'd be blessed to have both. Cucurella uh, has his own way. I think Hato is more of, you could say, I don't know if it'd be correct to use the term, more of a should I say a cleaner approach type of player, and Cucurella more erratic. But if you don't know him, you think he's confused. But that perceived erratic approach is what um, makes him unique. How he unsettles opposition players, and I've always known that's the case. But I think we're blessed to have both. I don't think it makes sense to start trying to compare both players. It just doesn't make any sort of sense. But thank you for joining Chelsea King 879. I appreciate you. Steve Igban, Chelsea, most I don't think I've ever seen anybody. I use this word like this. I read a lot, but I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. Most assumedly, okay, do need Guehi in there as a central defender. Please, aside Hato, we do need still. Again, it's a possibility. I'm just going to stick with whatever the manager wants. I'm all for it. I've come to trust him as an intelligent manager. Let's go, Chelsea. Luciano Green, nice to see you. Thank you for joining. And Igben and Leon also said, I preferred Goehi coming and letting Benoit Badiashile go. They're different. And I think we still need the profile of Badiashile, except if maybe after the arrival, what's his name, Yoro Hato, we could decide to let Badiashile go because Hato is capable of fulfilling the left center back role and also left back role. But I don't think we'll let Badiashile go. The club likes him and the manager likes him. I think the club's priority right now will be to find a way to help him recover and keep him fit. His fitness has been one of his biggest problems because every time he gets injured and stays on the sideline for a while, if he comes back, he's never the same. It gets worse for him. So hopefully, I think the club's priority, as I said before, would be to get him, help him recover and keep him fit. I don't think we're selling Badiashile. We've always done that's the case. He's an excellent ball playing defender, an intelligent defender too on his day. So they will give him more time and see if he can recover and stay fit. Then if that doesn't happen, the next time he recovers, they'd sell him. I don't think, for that rule, I don't think there's an exception. Even for Fana, I think they might consider selling him if he recovers this time and gets injured again. So, do you think Badishile is a better fit than Guehi? No need to compare them both. The question should be, which of the two players do we need more? We need Guehi. I think I'd have to agree, and we've had that conversation before, but I wouldn't say sell Badiashile for him because we don't have one, two Badiashile, um, Levi Colwell left sided, but we're not signing Hato as a left centre back. We're signing him. You could say more importantly for his versatility, but mainly as a left back. You get that. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Let's see. Hello to you too, Guru Shreva. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Hi to you too, Tyrone. Thank you for joining the conversation. And we have the captain of the community in Constantine Don. Big up to you. And shout out to my bro, the Blue Tiffle Game. If you're watching, much love to you. I know you've been very, very busy, but I always do think about you. And sorry if I haven't been reaching out to see how you're doing. Also to Glenn 10. I miss you. We do miss you. And I'm praying for you. If you believe in higher powers, I think everything will be all right. But stay strong, bro. Just remember, I'm praying for you. Been praying for you and still praying for you. But thank you, Dante, for joining the conversation. I do hope you're doing well. To get you caught up, three things. I think there's one more tab there for this particular topic here. The first one reads, Yoro Hato and Xavi, not I've been told it isn't pronounced Xavi. It isn't pronounced Xavi, but Xavi. Yoro Hato and Xavi Siemens have become the main focus. Let me remix that a bit for Chelsea. However, that does not mean that Chelsea spending is over this summer. So that latter part is important. Will come in later because it looks like we're looking to sign at least two more players. So the second tab here reads, understand that Euro Hata's deal is very close now. Okay, here we go, coming soon. Negotiations are final stages with Ajax after new director talks today. Hato waiting for the green light as a travel and go sign with Chelsea. I think it's one more time. If there isn't any, then okay, now maybe I didn't bring it up there. So I've seen reports today suggesting the valuation of the player that's a disparity between how much Chelsea are willing to pay and how much Ajax are asking for the player. So I think that's enough to lead to some people becoming concerned and question whether we'd be able to actually get the deal across the line. But I want to hear your opinion there. You're still in Dubai, I know. So I'm jealous a bit, okay? But that's fine. But let's say Dante, big up to you.
Nothing to be jealous about, coach. It's all good. Yeah, big up everyone in the chat as well.
Say that again. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, look, the deals probably will get done. Hopefully this week they'll both be done. They're very close, as reported by Fabrizio.
Oh, you think both will be done?
I think Probably Hato is very close. I mean,
But
Ornstein,
we've always known that Hato
yeah,
would be our
Ornstein
next signing.
tweeted about that one. So when Ornstein tweets, yeah, he usually he tweets one, and then the next one he tweets, it's done. It's basically done. So Fabrizio's a bit more like, he's milking it these days quite well. He's around 10 tweets before it happens. The here we go to here we go to here we go to here we go is like 10 times over and over.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, that's his style these days. But hey, that's how it is. But yeah, so that one's, I think, very, very, very close to being done. The Hato one, the Simmons one, maybe a little bit more, but I still expect them both to be done before the preseason starts. They'll want both players to be there because it is a little bit of a shortened preseason, obviously, because we had the Club World Cup. So they gone on holidays, but there's not much time between the preseason. We have a couple of games and then it's pretty much starts straight away. So it's a little bit of a shortened preseason in that sense for new players coming in. So yeah, it'll be very important to get these deals done, hopefully by the end of the week, because you want the next week when the preseason starts, you want them to be there together at the same time. So yeah,
And both players, they play in a position of priority for us right now. We need.
yes,
I want to get your opinion that we need Xavi Simmons to bring balance to our attacking area because he's more of a 10 than he is a winger. I get it. He's versatile. He's able to play on
yeah,
either flanks too. Hato, in this case, a rotational player for Cucurella. But I just don't want to call it a backup because I don't, for reasons I've explained before. That's a term I hate to use.
hmm
But let's hear you. Both players very important. Honestly, you can say that completes the squad. It balances out all the profile of players we have.
yeah, exactly. It's not really a backup because he's going to be a very expensive backup, but he is very young but very experienced. But it's a good learning curve for him. Gets to see what the coach wants, what he wants from Cucurella, to see if he can do it.
Mhm.
That's probably the plus side because he's still very, very young. So he still can learn that pretty well. He might be able to do that role, which I probably doubt is not that quite type of player. But you got to trust Maresca that he brought him in for a reason, for certain games, for certain matchups, for certain formations that he might change. So yeah, we'll wait and see with that one what happens. But yeah, definitely important for Cucurella when Cucurella is not playing. Um, that he's there's someone there to take his spot. I mean, we've seen Gusto play there as well, so Gusto can still play that role quite well to cover for Cucurella as well. So even James, we've seen a few times actually play there as well. So look, we're okay, but now it just makes it even better. But like I said, Hatos is very versatile, so he's the centre back as well. So gives you that option to have another centre back, left-footed centre back as well. I know we have a couple of them already, but he's a different profile. He's quick. He's got speed. He's got pace because he's a little bit shorter. He's not like a tall Badiashile.
Isn't he taller than Cucurella? But he even at that
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
got a good leap in him.
yeah. But he's very quick. He's a quick player, so he's fast. He's only 180 centimeters, I think, or something. So he's only just 6 foot. So he's a short for a centre back. But for certain matchups, like we saw at the Club World Cup when Cucurella stayed as a left centre back in a couple of the matchups, because the opposition had really fast players on that side. We didn't see Cucurella go up the field in some of those occasions because he was man marking some of them, the lethal players that were really quick. Well, now Hato can do that as well. Cucurella can actually still go forward, and Hato can slot into that left center back position as well for quick players. So just gives a lot of more options, a lot more versatility that you can play against for certain matchups. And that's definitely, I know that's what Maresca wants, and that's why he wants him for, obviously, for certain matchups, certain games. So yeah, look, just another tool for Maresca to use. It gives him more power and will make us more successful, of course, because he'll have that tool to use. So
I would say more importantly, Hato reads the game very well. He's an intelligent player.
he does. He's more of aggressive. I would say he's more of an aggressive defender. He likes to really go in for tackles and get off the line and really go. That's because he's got that quick acceleration. He's got that athletic ability. Similar like Cucurella, he likes to really chop at the back of their heels, and so he's got that in him, which is great. But yeah, he's not tall. He's just a little bit taller than Cucurella. Yeah, so that's why he's kind of a hybrid. He's not really a left back. He's not really a centre back. He's a bit of both. Can invert into a midfield position as well, which is good. Can go a little bit on the outside, a bit forward. not like Cucurella that was crashing the box. He's never really quite done that, but he can go out on the like a really sort of left back that overlaps a little bit. So yeah, he's got it all in him, and he can learn quite a lot.
And
He
there's a
can
chance
learn.
we can actually see both on the pitch at the same time.
Yes,
Where
that's why I said
because
yeah, there
usually
is.
if people have been paying attention to the way the application, I get it. We see this what we call the starting structure here, 4-2-3-1. But once the game starts, usually we see a three at the back as structure.
Yeah, it just like I said gives that option to play him against certain teams that have really quick players, wingers, where you can put one on a defensive assignment and the other one can then
Mhm.
pressure him going forward, like Cucurella overlapping as a left winger, and Xavi Simons being that left winger that tucks into a 10 when the left back overlaps. So yes, plenty of options, and that it's just given, like I said, Maresca more tools to use, so he'll be very happy about that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. 16 likes. We still have 42 people following the show on YouTube. Definitely, we should be doing a lot better than 42 likes in total. 149, 42 on YouTube. The rest is shared between X and Facebook, where they're equally. Coach doesn't know. Big up to you, Lifo, Republic of South Africa. Nice to see you out there. Hope you're doing well. On the Garnacho, the more I think about it, he wouldn't be a bad addition to the team, and the impact he had on average at Manchester United. So we have more technical players. It may uplift his game. I think here's the thing. We've discussed this at length, but quickly because you just because we have your comment on the screen here. Nobody here knows him personally, and I don't think again it's okay to just judge Garnacho by his brother's behavior on social media. Then, if you want to reference his most talked about attitude at Manchester United, then you must not have been paying attention. The issue, as Kalita did say the other day when he was in the live chat session, it's a culture thing, and I'm leaning towards believing that that's the case rather than the player himself. The hierarchy and the manager there has had a falling out with him, Marcus Rashford, that's two. What's his name also? Jadon Sancho. There are a few more that I can quite remember their names right now. That
Anthony, yep.
It just wouldn't make sense to blame it on the players because that's a pattern there. A pattern has been established, and you could argue because they were struggling quite a lot. They've been struggling for a few years right now, so scapegoating became their thing in my opinion. And players weren't happy. Anthony too. Go ahead, Tante. You were saying something.
Yeah, Anthony. I was just adding
Oh,
Anthony.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So I don't think it makes sense to blame the player. People don't just like him. You could argue because yeah, we live in the age of social media where it's easy just to join a campaign without you could say critically analyzing the aim of the campaign you're joining or whether the substance you can say whether it makes sense. These days people just join it and without thinking twice. Do I think his brother's behavior on social media is good? No, but his brother isn't Garnacho. Garnacho is Garnacho, and his brother is his brother. If his brother commits an offense, you can't come and hold Garnacho responsible for his brother's offense, and vice versa, irrespective of their relationship.
It's not like we haven't had that before, Coach. We've had players do that before. Even Thiago Silva's wife did that quite a lot, to be honest.
Exactly. But because we love Thiago Silva, it was swept under the rug easily.
Exactly.
I
Yes.
don't think it makes sense for the club to be playing and the wife of one of our players be saying something on social media that's directly related to the game that's ongoing. So it just doesn't make sense anyway. I don't operate like that. Do I think him coming to Chelsea to an extent again could become problematic? Yeah, if it comes and doesn't perform, people will start saying, "Yeah, we told you he was shit." But
Yeah.
if the club wants him, I'm not gonna complain. Honestly, I will support him because that's a good player in there. And how old is he? 45.
No,
Yeah,
no, no. He's
I know.
42.
I'm just kidding. Hey, he's 20,
42.
right?
Yeah, Coach. Look.
Exactly. Kids will always be kids.
Um. it's just that everyone hates him, unfortunately, because he was a Man United player. He scored against us pretty much when he played as well. His celebrations, the way he does celebrations when he scores, especially at Stamford Bridge, he's always scored against us and celebrated there. So he's hated. He's one of those players that you just hate because just what he does. He's all sorts of factors: the way he looks, the way he celebrates, how he plays. He's got that Argentine blood in him as well. So how he does things. But once he's on your team and we sign him and he's our player, well, you need to support. In my opinion, you need to support that player from the start. Yeah, okay, later on, if he acts up or something happens, then you can criticize him and then that's different. But from the start, when you sign a player, that means the coach wants him, the directors want him. He fits the system. As we see, we're buying system players. And yeah, you got to support him when he comes from the start. You have to give him that opportunity. After a while, if he's doing those things or something's well, then yeah. I mean, I still haven't seen him commit any crimes in Manchester United, so I don't know
He
what he's really
hasn't.
done. I'm not sure what he's done, to be honest. He hasn't done nothing himself personally. So it's yeah. Look, he's just one of those headed players. But when he joins us, and if he does, he hasn't joined us yet. If he does, you need to back that player from the start. And I think that will change quite a bit if he comes in and does well. And he's a little bit of a need in a way because we need players that can play those wide as a pure winger. We don't really have that many, to be honest. So if he comes in on a loan on a really, really low fee for his age and how much experience he has and how well he did in that system before Amarim came in, because that system, when he struggled this year because his system's been horrible. And like you said, Amarim came in and shook everything up. A lot of players left, made a lot of players angry. So yeah,
And he was one of those that wasn't happy too.
well, no, because especially by after at the end, he wasn't playing him. He didn't, when he was playing Mason Mount when Mason Mount was out all that time injured, and he started Mason Mount over him. So yeah, I would be pretty upset too. And Mason Mount was stinking up the place every time he played. Yeah, I would be upset as well. So look, he has not committed a crime. He's done nothing wrong. If he comes, I'm supporting him from the start. If he does act up or does play up, well, then obviously people can criticize and have a go. But till that happens, support the player if he's in a Chelsea shirt. That's how I look at it.
And
That's what
here's
true
the thing.
supporters should be doing.
Yeah, I don't want to bust anybody's bubbles, but here's the thing. The campaign you're starting, I don't think he wields any he wields any measure of influence with regards to whether the club signs him or
Oh, the
not. It
petition.
doesn't.
You mean the petition, coach?
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't anyway. But a lot of people, you could say, it's
A lot
just
of them
as I
signed it,
said,
but
it's a herd mentality thing. They're part of it. They're happy. Will he move a
yeah,
little?
yeah.
No. Arsenal fans started, and the number of signatures they garnered, or for
Matter
the case of Nani Madeke. Where does Madeke play now? Rangers, right? He
And
didn't
they all
end
changed
up.
the tune once he signed.
All right, that's by the way. Thank you so much for that. I like that comment right there. Jackson must leave. Let's see whether he leaves. Again, I'm not. You're entitled to your opinion. I want him to stay, but if him leaving means we accommodate a more, again, a much needed player, or a more, you can say, a player that's gonna do a lot better than him at Chelsea. Fine by me. If he stays, I don't think it hurt in any way. Squad depth. That doesn't mean he starts. We have other players that can come on, do an equally good job, or maybe an even better job if he isn't doing well. Constantine, your last name, is that Constantine? Did I read that wrong? Let me read again. Yeah,
No,
Constantine spelled differently. Happy day to you too. Nice to see you. Chayik Adam, what is holding on to the Simon coming to Chelsea? Negotiations. It's a process. Here's the thing.
add-ons.
Yeah, add-ons and everything. Again, it's not that simple. It's usually what there's something people don't know. Signing a player isn't the same thing as going into a store or finding a product that you want with a price tag on it and just paying this kind and you pay and you go. No, there's a lot. Bells and whistles if you prefer. Image rights, add-ons like Salon fee if Chelsea wins the Champions League or Premier League, what happens? But I think at this stage you could argue, but there are conflicting reports out there. Some are saying they're just ironing out the payment terms. Some are saying they haven't agreed on a fee. And some are saying we're close to agreeing personal terms with him. Some are saying we have already. It's everywhere, but the signs are good. In Houston, it's not that simple. You don't just go, except if you trigger a release clause. Even if that's the case, in most cases, the clubs triggering the release clause usually want a favorable payment plan. Yeah, so it's not that straightforward. So there's always back and forth. Let's say, like, this is just me speculating. Let's say Leipzig, they're looking for 60 million euros, and Chelsea will say, okay, you know what, we'll give you 45. Leipzig will say, no, 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 we're not selling for that price. Chelsea will go take the time, come back again. You don't just go and pay how much a club is asking. Dante, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of little, like you said, it's more the complicated stuff, the add-ons, performance bonuses, uh, all that stuff for the club, for the player, for his agents. There's a lot more involved than just the player in these deals. Like I said, there's agents, there's other other representations, image rights. There's a whole lot till they iron all that out and come to an agreement that as a Leipzig's happy with, that Chelsea's happy with. That usually takes a little bit of time. And these days, the reports come out when they already start talking. So yeah, it usually takes a couple of weeks after that to get a deal, probably 2 to 3 weeks to get a deal completed if the news comes out like that. So yeah, I think it's like I said, it's very close. I can see the plan. I know why we started. It makes sense. They want to get it wrapped up by probably end of this week, before early next week, before the preseason starts, because that makes a whole lot of sense. You want those players there from the start.
Yeah. Let's see what else we have here. Hey man, hey, Azo Ali, nice to see you once again, brother. I do hope you're doing well, and thank you for finding the time to join the conversation. Always nice to see you. Stavi's here. Despite numerous coaches, the general attitude of United players has been questioned. Average performances by numerous players. What is this amazing Mount stinking the place? I know you like Mason Mount, but Dante is entitled to his own opinion. I liked Mount at Chelsea, and I've made again my opinion known of him. I think the only time he was coached properly was when he went out on loan Red Sevilla, the Dutch league. Once he came back to Chelsea, every manager he played under was focused on his ability to press, and probably drained the life out of him. Thomas Tuchel nearly let him, you could say, stop breathing on the pitch. Even when it was clear he was mentally tired. Dante is entitled to his opinion of him, and I'm entitled to my opinion of him. And I think, yeah, he's been stinking things up at Manchester United. You're entitled to feel like he's the best player they've signed since Ian Robben.
I didn't know that's the case, but anyway,
Yeah,
he's been
that's
definitely
your
stinking
opinion.
up.
Yeah.
Stinking up the place in Manchester, in my opinion. Yes, definitely, and a lot of Manchester United's people opinion, and a lot of Chelsea fans' opinion as well. So yeah, he hasn't done nothing there, to be honest.
But Stav, nice to see you. And you could argue the only leeway that I give him, the only leeway that I give him is that, yeah, he's the fact that he got injured. I think on two occasions, hasn't helped. We're still trying to get because we want numbers, and I've talked about this. You can say we did talk about this the other day. We're ambitious. It looks like we're looking to win everything, and you need squad depth to do that. If you don't have good squad depth, listen, there's a difference between having a bloated squad than having a large squad with balance and all the players you need. And the further we go into competitions that we're going to be involved in the coming season, the better for us. Because if we don't go further into them, then we have issues a lot. So we have some players that aren't going to be happy because they aren't game. Again, there's no games to give them game time. So I think the numbers are good, and for me, it's reflective of the fact that we're looking to win everything, and I like it. If you aim to win everything, if you end up winning two or three, that'd be good. And the further we go into all those competitions, the FA Cup, is it FA Cup, Carabao Cup? Yeah, one
Yeah.
more Premier League, Champions League, the better. because yeah, the manager, he'd have the luxury to give players game time, and not a lot will complain. Okay, I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm not sure what to make of that particular comment. If we looked at just goes the Drogba would have been gone long before he did. Jackson has just three pro seasons under his belt. Where was Drogba? Here's the thing. Yeah, we did talk about that, and I can't stop preaching about that enough. But I think here's the thing. The same thing I've told Bobby here. You know, Bobby usually isn't happy when fans call for a player to be sold, right? And I've told them on the panel here that look, it doesn't matter what the fans really think, and I think that's especially true with the owners and a lot of clubs. What the fans think in terms of who the club should sign and not sign, I don't think it wields any measure of influence. The fans' opinion with regards to who they want the club to sign. If that's the case, then we'd have Osimhen as a Chelsea player right now. Yeah, Bastoni and the others. So, but here's the thing: the question, most important question, would Jackson want to stay? And I'd say it's difficult to say, really. It's difficult to say. And my logic being, I don't think he would want to be a third choice. I don't think he would want to be the third choice striker. That's how I see it. Chances are he doesn't mind. Chances are he has so much belief in himself that he'd stay and feels like he can. You could say fight his way or play his way into becoming the first choice. But we'll find out. And Steve Eggman, is there any seriousness from Chelsea as regarding the stalwart Keenan Yildiz? We did inquire, but Juventus, they say they don't want to sell him, and probably because they know even if he stays one more season, even if they don't want to, I think he just signed a new contract too, right? So then, more importantly, is this: they're not looking to sign him. United is stunk out because of Mount. No, we're not saying they stunk out because of Mount. A lot of stuff, again, still wrong until proven otherwise. I thought that the Mayan deal was over, and I don't want Garnacho. All he does is aura farms. He's only knows for the bicycle kick against United. Okay, if the manager wants him, you can change that. He was injured more than twice. Okay, I'm just going with the number of times I remember. The guy was constantly played in numerous positions, twice Player of the Year. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to tell you this. I'm still here's the thing. Mount isn't actually, but I think he's past that level now. It'd be difficult for him. I don't know. Maybe under Amorim, Mount wasn't that bad of a player. And I'm going to say this. I've said it 1,000 times, but I'm going to say it one more time, and I'll move on. I think the only time he was coached properly was in the Dutch league. The moment he came back to Chelsea, it was about his energy, his pressing. Even though he's a player that I believe is highly technically gifted. But under Thomas Tuchel, as much as I like Thomas Tuchel and Frank Lampard, we were only able to see flashes of what he's capable of doing. That's it. They didn't utilize him again. I think, unfortunately, yeah, he was only coached properly in the Dutch league. Once he came back to Chelsea, it was about his energy, his pressing, and all that, and that didn't help. He didn't really develop as I think, as I believed he would have. That's just me. Yeah, let's see what else we have here. And David Egbert says, in my opinion about Jackson is we should give him time, and he's a player we can play as a striker. I don't think we're looking to sell him. I think that has been clear. We're not looking to sell him. But I've said again, I'm going to say something I've already said. But would he want to stay? I honestly do not know. I think, given the some of the reports we've addressed, I think he's probably weighing up his future. I don't think he would want to be the third choice striker. I would want him to stay. Do I think he stays? I'd say right now 70. You can say 60-40, leaning towards him leaving. It's a possibility, but I'm not the manager. And Emeka Meribe, unfortunately, I can't see your comment on the main screen to highlight it, but nice to see you, and thank you for joining the conversation. Can we loan like some of our players? It would be easier. I don't think Chelsea. I think if anything happens, if Jackson leaves, I think it'd be on a permanent deal. I don't think the club would look to loan him out. It just doesn't make sense. All right, let's move on to the next item. We're switching topic now. Okay, Aston Villa intend to offer Morgan Rogers a new contract to reflect his status as a key player at Villa Park. And there's also one more report that suggests that Chelsea will look to exploit Aston Villa's financial situation. This particular one here, which reads Chelsea wanted to take advantage of Aston Villa's uncertain financial situation by buying Morgan Rogers this summer. However, it could take around 90 £1 million to get the deal done. Run away. I don't think we're gonna get him if indeed they're looking to get that much money for his sale. I don't think we'll be the one to sign him. And I think with Xavi Siemens, I don't think Rogers becomes a priority. I think it becomes because that's a situation where if the opportunity emerges and the price is right, and the price, then we'd go for him. But go ahead.
Yeah, and sorry, I don't need to answer, but I'll answer him anyway. Giorgio, they're saying I was talking about Manchester United. I never said anything about Chelsea. But anyway, we move on. Yeah, look, coach, he's this. They don't want to sell him. That's the price. Like we with Jackson, we put Jackson. What do we say? 100 million for Jackson. If anyone wants him, 80 million to 100 million. Exactly the same that Chelsea's doing. So if they want, they might be selling Watkins to Manchester United. We're not sure yet, but they're really after him, so that might happen. Well, if they want Jackson, then well, we value Jackson at the same price as Morgan Rogers. So there you go. If they want, maybe we can do a deal there for the same price, a swap or something like that. Yeah, they have a right. They have long contracts. The clubs, like I said, those players don't want to leave. From what I've seen from like a Jackson, and I heard you say 60-40, probably him leaving. Well, the last report that Jackson quoted, and it came from his own mouth, said that he's staying and he wants to challenge and he wants to stay. So I'm just going that by that. He's always been very, very consistent with that. Can that change? Obviously, that can change. If the club does receive an offer, obviously the club will take it to him. If it's a good enough offer and say, we've got an offer for you, do you want to go there or not? They'll know. So yeah, I still think he stays. I still think his character is that he'll stay and fight at least for another 6 months to a year. I think he will try to do that and see how he goes from there. And I think maybe then, if that doesn't work out, maybe then he might leave. But I actually think he'll for me, it's 60-40 that he's staying, not that he's leaving. So we're a little bit different there on that one. So yeah, look, hopefully he stays. I want to see him under that pressure. I want to see him how he performs when there's other players ahead of him and how he reacts and what he does, because that might really push him to the next level. You never know. And yes, he is still young. We talked about Drogba earlier. Someone's in the comments as well, Georgia said about Drogba. You never know. So that could actually get the best out of him, and that will only make us even stronger. So I hope he stays and I hope he fights, because I really want to see that, how he reacts with that. And he's a little bit of a different profile from those other strikers as well. So Maresca will definitely use him
Yeah, they're
against certain
different. Yeah,
games.
yeah.
Yeah, so against teams that are open, that are in behind, Maresca will use him because that's his strength. And he really, he always has struggled against low blocks, like extremely struggled. He's never I think he's scored only 1 or 2 goals against low blocks so far in his career. So yes, he will probably not play those games, but against teams that are a little bit open, mid to high line, we've seen him destroy most of those teams when he's played either link up play or scoring goals or assisting. He does really, really well against teams like that. So is a great tool for Maresca to have an asset against teams like that. And Maresca will use him because he does like him, Maresca, for that. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. There's still a little bit to go. This will probably drag on. It's one of those that if other dominoes fall, like I said, Watkins, what happens to Isaac, what happens to Newcastle, who do they buy, or Sesko, all those, might depend on that at the end. But I think it's been pretty clear. I think Chelsea said if you want him, you have to pay up a lot of money for him. For his position as a striker, there's not many on the market left. And they've slapped that high price on him for a reason, because the player has said he wants to stay as well. That's my personal opinion. Otherwise, they wouldn't have put such a high price on his head if the player did not say he wants to stay, and that they want, and if they wanted to sell him, it wouldn't have been that high, in my opinion. So that's the way I look at it. I think both the club and the player, they're aligned, and he wants to stay. And the only way he leaves if so like a really massive offer comes in that satisfies Chelsea, and then they might ask Jackson, got this offer, are you interested? But other than that, I think he stays, in my personal opinion.
All right, here we have a Copama. What would you? We're not doing. Listen, before the season starts, we have to do Chelsea's best 11. But I can't do that right now, honestly. But I understand what you're saying. Just stay in touch. That's one of the again our priority shows before every season starts. Okay. And George. Okay, I've heard you. We're moving on from that.
Move on, buddy.
We don't want
Move
the
on.
back and forth. And the
He's not
go
a
ahead.
Chelsea player. Why am I supporting? Would I need to support Mount when he's not a Chelsea player? He's a Manchester United player. Why would I like him? He's an enemy right now. That does
Yeah.
make that
I
makes
know
no sense.
Stav likes him too much and probably was pained that he left Chelsea, but we'll move on from
Yeah,
that
maybe a
topic.
bit emotionally attached to him, which
Yeah.
is fine. Some fans do get emotionally attached to some
Okay.
players.
Stephen Eman here says if Arsenal gets Eze, Chelsea FC should do a matchup and get Morgan. I don't think so, really. As long as we get Xavi, Siemens, I think we'll be all right. The EPL says the EPL is going to be intense this time around. No, I'm not, look, Stab. I'm not arguing against that. I just see his situation differently. Honestly, I'm not arguing against that, and I think I've already told you that how the partner Jackson hasn't. Yeah, I believe you. I believe you
Yeah.
in that. And I'm saying that the biggest question is: does Jackson want to stay? I'm talking about those two who want Jackson out in the chat. Yeah, that's the business. I think a lot more want Jackson gone, actually, when you talk about Chelsea fans. And I think you already know that.
They do, yeah.
I want him to stay. Do I think he stays? I think he most likely leaves. All right. Strasbourg would pay Chelsea 6.5 million for Isha Samuel Smith. And I've seen rival fans saying this is money laundry and all that. Then we'd ask for a lot more if that's the case. I think we're this deal for me, the permanent sale to Strasbourg, I think you could argue designed to ensure he gets to play. So Strasbourg don't
Yeah.
feel like they are, you could say, developing players for us, and we just come and plug the player at the end of the season. That's how I see it. I thought he was going to be part of our squad in the coming season, given what I heard at the time that Maresca likes him and wants him to be part of the first team squad. But I think this is a good loan for him. As long as he gets to play week in, week out to continue developing because he's an excellent talent. But yeah, this means for me, Josh Achimpong stays. I haven't heard anything that suggests Achimpong goes out on loan. Maresca likes him. You could argue probably if it wasn't the fact that some of the other centre backs we have at Chelsea are more experienced than him, he would have played a lot more. But the manager has proven that he likes him. Actually, he got the chance to play at the Club World Cup. He played a whole 90 minutes on that day, right? And that's how much manager likes him. I don't know, Dante, you have anything to add to that?
No, it's a great move. And look, we signed him for nearly 4 million. I think it was around 4 million. So we're not really making much money on him. He's not one of those, academy ones that's pure profit. It's not like that. This is an opportunity for him to go and learn under a system there. And the youth coach, he's gone there as well to be the assistant to Rosenior as well. So
The youth
yes.
coach we signed, was it from Porto?
Yes, correct. Yes.
So he's gone to Strasbourg. Still,
he's gone to be the number
okay.
one assistant for Rosenior now as well. So he's got an upgrade. He's gone there to do that. So Ish goes with him, so he knows him very well. So obviously the youth coach. So yeah, look, it's a great move. It helps our books a little bit. It gives, like you said, the security for Strasbourg. He's not going there on a 1-year loan. This will be, I think, this is why this was made this way as well, because he's gone there to develop and to play probably for 2 to 3 years. And if he's good enough and he shines, well, then we can just buy him back for a good fee, obviously, because we're, it's our club basically.
Mhm.
So Yeah, we don't have a loan spot any more loan spots available. We know it's only free loan spots. So this is just a way of doing that. We did that with Diego Moreira as well. We did that with a couple of players already. So yeah, it's a good way to put him into that system, let him settle there, let him play, and he's going to play
Do you think we'll
a
have the
lot more.
first options, the first option in all the deals?
Yeah,
Like,
so he'll play a little bit more because of it as well, because he's going to be there a little bit, not just a loan 1 year. They know he's going back. No, he's going to be there 2 years, maybe even 3 years. And if he shines and if he plays really well, well, then it's a big win because we get him back. If not, well, he becomes a really good player, but not good enough to come back to Chelsea. Well, then Strasbourg still have a very good player and a sellable asset because he is English. So they're always going to make a good money on him as well. So it's a win-win for Strasbourg, Chelsea, the player, for everyone, in my personal opinion. So I think it's a great move.
yeah, I think it is. And you did say when I don't know whether you understood what I asked at the time. You did say we probably have first refusal. I think that's the term used for it. In case if Strasbourg they decide to sell him, they reach out to us first and say they have an offer on the table. What do we want? Sell?
Yes. No, no. Look, let's not. We still own that club basically, so we got the majority of the ownership of that club. So yeah, look, it's
But I don't
just
think it'd be a simple plug and play. There's still some you could say
yeah,
independent
yeah. Well, you got to get
operations.
around all the legal
Yeah,
stuff, but basically, yes, of course, they're not selling that player without our consent, 100%. So yeah, look, it's like I said, it's a win-win for everyone. If he becomes a good player but not great enough to come back to Chelsea, well then they've got a player, and then they keep him. Then they can sell him if they want and make a really sizable profit because they would make a sizable profit. Being young, English, that always is always wanted, especially like in the Premier League. So if not, if he comes really good and comes amazing, and he does that for a consistent time for 2 years or so, or 3 years, Cucurella will be 30 by then. Well, Cucurella, we'll see what happens with the contract and stuff. So a lot of things can change, and then he might be ready to come back in. Then, so it's clear like blue code. They don't look at it. They look at everything very strategically, and they look at it a little bit more longer term. They like to have all the bases covered, and that's the smart way to do it.
yeah. As Bobby, thank you. Take your time. It happens every now and then. But more importantly, I do hope you're doing well. Thank you for finding the time to join the conversation. Hopefully, you join before Dante. You say go out for some tanning out there. You know where he is.
I am taking a break right now. Yes, I'm up in the
You
room,
don't want
so
to. You don't want
I will get
sunburn.
back after
You're
the show. Yes,
concerned.
I'm going back after the show. 100%. Yes.
All right. I think I looked for this particular tab. Didn't realize I had it in the wrong position. I wanted it to be the third item we read about your Hato. That's from Telegraph. This Telegraph is spelled differently. With double A there. I'm not sure. But it reads Chelsea have refused to improve their 41 million euros to Ajax for Euro Hato. However, the Amsterdam club, who may accept around 43 to 45, cannot risk a culling of the deal due to their bleak financial situation. I think this is absolute house dungery. It doesn't make sense for a multitude of reasons. How does he know that? How again, the person reporting these know that Ajax are willing to accept 43 to 45. Then if Chelsea knows that, then we just go in with 43. If in fact this is the truth. You understand what I'm saying here?
Yeah, it's
It just
just
doesn't make sense to it, in
no.
my opinion. But because we have it up there, we just have to address it. But go ahead, let's hear you.
Yeah, coach. Yeah, it does make sense. Exactly what I thought as well. I mean, we would have just probably gone with that from the start. So no, no, that's probably not the case. But anyway, it would. They are probably after price. Obviously, they don't want to. They didn't want to lose him. He came at a bit of a surprise out of nowhere. So they went prepared because, like I did tell you, he did sign a contract extension last year. So
And it's
they thought.
difficult because he wants to leave.
Yeah, and now that is, they thought he's staying for the next 3 years, no problem. He's under contract and just signed the contract extension. I think it happened a bit too early. They were a bit caught off by it, a bit surprised. And yes, now they're trying to obviously play with the terms, trying to get the best they can, trying to get as much more money as they can. that's why it's taking a little bit longer. Look, I think they'll probably get it. He's worth it. I mean, even like I said last time, he's worth 40, 45, even 50 he's worth it, to be honest, because he's such highly rated for his age, leadership qualities, everything. So yeah, look, it'll get done, but yeah, they're just trying to get as much add-ons and trying to get the best fee, just so they're happy and they have a smile on their face as well, so they're not too upset. So yeah, one thing I do know, when Chelsea want a player and the player wants to join Chelsea, I think 98% of that time the player is signed for Chelsea. I don't see anyone coming over and trying to get him. No chance.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And Chelsea have all the cards in this situation because the player specifically, he's told the Ajax hierarchy he wants to go to Chelsea. Jay, just go back to work. Just go back to work. It's simple. But Jay says the one title you should have avoided was "Here we go." Maybe you need your glasses on. There's a question mark and an exclamation mark there, and I had to look. And the moment I saw your comment, I had to look at the title again. Didn't I asking myself, didn't I put a question mark there? I did actually. So just go back to work and leave me alone, Jay. I don't like you. Okay. All right. Stav is saying give Ajax and Salmino, you're probably on loan. Your device helping you type. Yeah. It wouldn't be a bad idea. Offer Anselmino to them on loan. I think he gets to play. But I don't think Ajax probably I don't think they take him on loan. They take him on loan probably only if they have the option to buy him on a permanent.
Exactly. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not that type of club to do
No,
that. To be
yeah,
honest,
they don't want to develop your player for you and then you can't
no,
play him. Yeah,
no, they
but
don't do
I
that. They're
think
a selling
Chelsea
club. Yeah,
likes Anselmino, but go ahead.
yeah, they're a selling club. They don't do that. They don't do that. I can't even think of any examples that they've done that. To be honest, they always just buy and then they'll sell for profits. That's what it is. They churn them out. It's one of the best academies in the world, and they do churn them out and make a lot of money all the time off them. But they don't really get players on loan and develop them for you. No, they're not going to do that. No, they'll buy him if that's the case.
So look at how Stav wanted to phrase it because he deleted the other one. Give Ajax Anselmino on a 2-year free loan to
No,
get Hato. No, because we have the all cards here. We have all the cards here. They're the ones that are desperate to get a good fee. And because there aren't other clubs pushing now, because he said no to Real Madrid and one other club that I can't quite remember, it's a problem for them. And he's given them the strong indication to them that he's not looking to stay. And if he stays, he's not going to be happy. He said he doesn't want to play in the final that against what club was it again? Not Como exactly. I can't quite remember the name of the club. He said no, he's not playing, and the manager left him out of the squad and released a public statement that yeah, he said he doesn't want to play. So why would he select him? Something to that effect. So I don't think it makes sense. We don't have to try to sweeten the deal because we have all the cards.
yeah, and
What do you
Anselmino
think?
is well. We'll see what happens with him. He might actually stay. Seeing that Saar went back to Strasbourg, you never know. We don't know for sure yet if he's staying or not.
And
Uh,
Salmino, right?
yeah, he might actually stay and be one of those that stays and learns and plays every now and then. When the cup games like Carabao Cup, etc. Yeah, so he might actually stay. If not, for me, I would probably send him to someone like Bournemouth. They lost both. They're going to lose. They're both centre backs. Bournemouth would be a very good option for him because, yeah, I think there he would play. So someone like that. But yeah, I don't mind him staying either. To be honest, get used to the European lifestyle and get some game time as well because he will get some game time in some of those cups, 100%.
Yeah, and Stav, I haven't said you dislike Anselmino, but I think that's just you making it clear. You're not saying we should do that because you dislike Anselmino. But here's the thing: you followed Ajax for a long time now? Do you know them as a club that loan players from other clubs? I don't remember any.
No, I don't
Yeah, so
either.
they'd have to have the option to keep the player on the permanent before they do that. But you follow the Dutch league more than I do. You let me know. So I don't. Yeah, and like Dante mentioned, Anselmino may well stay. I think he played a few minutes during the Club World Cup, right?
I think he came on at one of the games. Yes, at the end.
But
Yes, I
that's
think
not
he.
guaranteed that he's staying. But would you just looked at the fact that Sa had gone on loan to Strasbourg? Yeah, and that may well be the reason why we keep him. And it doesn't look like we're looking to sign any defenders right now. Just says call me crazy, but Simmons outscore Weeds in all in all competition. It's a possibility. He has more goals than him right now, actually, doesn't he, Dante? He
Yeah,
finished
yeah,
the season with more goals.
yeah. Wirtz had a horrible season this season. Yes, he didn't. He went on like 6 months, no goals, no assists, nothing. So yeah, it wasn't a good season for him. So
It doesn't come across to me as a player that would do well in the Premier League. I like him, but I think maybe it may well end up in that sort of situation when we had Kai Havertz. He was excellent for us in Europe, but in the Premier League he struggled. I think that may well be the case because you could argue Liverpool probably they're signing some of those players knowing that those players will be excellent for them in Europe, but in the Premier League they'd be better starting all other players.
yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be. Look, he's got the technical ability. He's a very very talented player, so he does have that ability. Now, will the pace and the physicality of the Premier League bother him? Depends. It also depends where he plays and how he plays with
And
Liverpool.
you can say how the manager utilizes him.
That's yet to be determined because they've got a lot of attacking players, but you can't play all of them because then you're going to concede a goal on every counter attack. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Slot fits them in and how he puts them in, how he rotates them. It's a good problem to have, obviously, but there's no guarantee that he will do what he did at Leverkusen at Liverpool because that's a completely different league. Yeah, same with Simmons. It's not a guarantee, but I've seen quite a lot from Simmons that I think he's got that. He's also got that a bit of physicality, like I said, that core strength that I think he will do well. Plays with his head up, and Wirtz does that as well, really well. But I think
But
Simmons does that
Simmons
at
is
a
more physical.
more
Simmons,
physical and a higher
yeah,
level and much stronger on the ball.
yeah.
Yes.
And something else I want you to talk about, Dante. Usually when you have a player, a flamboyant maybe player, as
Hmm.
as good as Simmons, usually they don't contribute much defensively. But if in this case he does, wins the ball a lot in the opposition in the final third too. That's a huge difference. You could argue that's probably the mainly you could say what draws us, what draws Chelsea to him.
I think so. Yeah, 100%. He does work hard off the ball as well. So Verts is a little bit different. No, not as good as no, definitely not as good as Simmons. He doesn't do that as much. So yeah, that's why I think Maresca sees that and he loves that side of it as well. And that really translates across the Premier League players like that as well. That's the big difference. So Maresca's seen that for sure, and yeah, probably once he saw that as well, plus with all the other stuff, well, he fell in love with him as well. So yeah, and he would have spoken to him on the phone like he has with the signings he does. So yeah, I think he translates much better across the Premier League than Wirtz does, 100%.
Yeah, if we're going by you say their profile, that Wade's definitely he will again. I'm just gonna go back to what you already said. Everything comes down to um, how Slot utilizes him. He may well accept that okay, if he's on the pitch, they need to find a way to conduce his lack of physicality and defensive contributions, which clubs do. If you're good enough to create chances and I mean, there are other players
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
that good that can sacrifice themselves for your one particular player. We've had that situation with Eden Hazard and all that. But thank you. And Jay saying, I think he had something here that I highlighted. Call me crazy. Yeah, we talked about that. Sunderland could use something from us to stay up. I would say yes. Who
They're
comes to
doing pretty
mind?
well already. They're doing very well, signing some very good players.
Yeah, yeah. They're signing Xhaka.
Xhaka's coming in. It'll be nice to see him when he plays against Liverpool. Sorry, against Arsenal. That'll be a good game to watch.
He's gonna be at his best on that day.
Probably red cards both games, but anyway, yeah, it doesn't
I
matter.
I think he's gone past that level. Arsenal, it was a huge mistake letting him go. You could argue letting him
It
go was one
was.
of the reasons why they didn't win the Premier League the following season. And you could
I
argue
think
also,
so as
but
well.
not necessarily on papers. They just had to let Partey go for reasons we don't want to talk about here. But go ahead if you were saying something.
Yeah, I think he'll be out to prove a point against them because when he was left, he didn't leave that good with them. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, they signed some good players and they're looking some other really good talented players. They've signed really interesting profiles as well. So we'll see how they use them. But I think, yeah, they got a really good chance of staying up if they keep signing those type of players. Yeah, I think they stay up. I think already they're probably, for me, just edging it to stay up already. Another player or two like that, and I think they stay up.
But there's one thing. Here's one thing with promoted teams. If they sign a few players to strengthen, they usually survive. When they
Correct.
overdo it, they struggle more
Yep. Yep.
because overdoing it could you lead to again is unsettling the squad, and you. I think if they do it moderately, I think if they may well
Unless you
stay
do it
up.
like we did or like Nottingham Forest did. Nottingham Forest changed everyone, every single 23 or 24 players, but he worked out for them pretty well. That's the only other way you probably can do it because you're changing
A
basically
total
everyone.
overhaul, right?
Total overhaul, well, then yes, that can work. And you saw that worked. They basically kind of followed us and did the whole full overhaul. The Greek owner is like, yeah, let's do that. And they did it and they did it well. And it worked wonders, to be honest. It worked really well. So, yeah, that's the only other way probably you can. I'm not sure if they can do that, but they are looking at a lot of players. So I think they might have seen that and they're looking to sign a lot of players and just go over the top, but that will help you. That might guarantee you that at least it's not you're not upsetting the other ones. You're changing all of them, and they all together play together, and they're hungry, and they're all played together differently. So there's no other ones in the dressing room that were there. So that's the only other way it works, in my opinion. Like we
Mm.
saw, like I said, Forrest do it as well.
Yeah. Joe Paul is saying, please, we should let Jackson stay. He has a lot to offer. I think we know that. I think the manager knows that. The manager even likes him. The question is, would he want to stay? And we've talked about that at length. More likes, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We're stuck at 24 likes. I think we should be doing a lot better than that because we had 70 plus people following the show on YouTube. We still have a total of 178, but only 39 on YouTube. The rest shared between X and Facebook. Nyak24 says that Siemens will succeed in the Premier League because he's much faster with the ball at his feet and high IQ to make the correct passes, irrespective of where he is on the pitch. Yeah. Plus, he's stronger than he looks, similar to Pedro. But this guy, I hope we'll get the deal across the line. I think, wow, the possibility, you can say the chances of us winning the league increases significantly for signing Simmons alone. He's that good. He's a fine creator. And I think we've talked about this at length also. He reduces the creative burden on Cole Palmer. Both can start at the same time in a game. But at the same time, if one gets injured, then we'll still be fine. Or maybe for some reason one isn't available for selection, we still get fine. Or maybe the manager just wants to rotate. But I think he's a priority signing, in my opinion. Hopefully, we'll be able to get the deal across the line. So there you go. Garnacho. Because Chelsea fans are concerned. We already talked about him at length when the show started. It's a topic of concern for a lot of Chelsea fans, but some unnecessarily just doesn't want the club to sign him. And when you ask them why, I don't think a lot of them can actually say, okay, this is the reason why. Can give you a sensible reason why they don't want Chelsea to sign him. It just I just don't know why. But here's the let's look at this comment by this report. Chelsea Dodgers quoting Miguel Delani. He reads, Chelsea's interest in Alejandro Garnacho is long standing, but there's one main obstacle as regards any potential trade. The hierarchy at Chelsea value Nicholas Jackson at £80 million. They don't want to pay more than 30 million for Garnacho. Interesting report right here. I'm not sure what to make of it. But I'd still go back to Chelsea's valuation of Nicholas Jackson simply means they're not looking to sign him, because I don't see any club that will come to the table with anything close to anything north of £70 million for Nicholas Jackson. But Dante, let's hear you.
Yeah, there probably will be one club that might do that, maybe even two, to be honest. If you look at
To pay
what
something north of 70 million for Nicholas Jackson?
yes, because if Newcastle lose Isak, sorry, and no one else signs for them, and they can't get Seska, they can't get anyone. Well, there's only one option left, and he's proven Premier League player. He's proven in the Premier League. Got still a good goal scoring record, even though his finishing needs to be worked up. But he's still got a very good record,
You
Nicholas
wouldn't
Jackson.
say, I don't think he's had a bad season at Chelsea. Just that he needs to improve his, you can say, be efficient consistently in front of
Yeah,
goal. That's just that. And there's nothing wrong in that, which is why I've told people the only reason he leaves is that if he wants to leave. We're not looking to sell him, but go ahead.
exactly. And maybe Newcastle would, and it would suit because the way they play it does suit his style of play because they like to play fast, they like to play open. We saw, Isak does the same kind of. He plays very similar to him, open, running of channels, linking up play. So yeah, he would suit them very well. So I think when you said there's not many clubs, well, I think that would be one because if they sell Isak for 130, 40, 50 million to Liverpool, well, then they've got plenty of money to spend,
But
no problem.
they're prioritizing Sheshko. Have you not seen that?
Yeah, but that's what I mean. They might not get him because he might not go there.
Okay, you're saying chances are he
Yeah,
wouldn't want to join them.
correct. Because there will be bigger clubs to go to. Even Man United not have done much worse, but they still might be more attractive because they're a big, massive club, and they've signed some pretty good players. The salary that they would pay would probably be much higher as well than Newcastle. So yeah, I think Newcastle are in a bad spot at the moment. So they would probably be, if they lose him, they've got no one up front basically. So coach, they would be desperate and they probably would pay that money because there's no other option and they would have the money. Even Aston Villa, well, if Aston Villa lose Ollie Watkins, Sesko's not, I don't see Sesko going there, or who's going to go there as well. Again, the way they play, the same way they play exactly like Newcastle, basically more open, more counter attack, open spaces, high line, blah blah. They play that exact same style that would suit Nicholas Jackson as well for a lot of games. So again, if they can't find anyone, well, there's only one striker left that's Premier League proven, good age, high potential still because he hasn't hit his ceiling yet. That's only Nicholas Jackson. And like I said, if they sell, some players, we saw they won Morgan Rogers 90 million. Well, okay, well, we won 90 million for Jackson as well. So yeah, they might be desperate enough to sign another player. And don't forget, Emery knows Jackson very well. He's the one that brought him through at Villarreal.
But
He's
they
the one that
can. Do you
changed him
think they
from a
can
left.
afford him? I don't think so.
No, if they sell, they can. That's what I'm saying. If they sell Watkins,
They'd have to sell a lot of players, because if
no, no,
selling
no.
Morgan Rogers, if the reason they're selling Morgan Rogers would be to balance the books, spending that much money also, which means the sale of
Yeah,
Rogers would
they
be
don't need to sell
useless.
Morgan Rogers. They need to sell one like a Watkins or a Rogers, yes. But if they sell Watkins for 50 million or whatever it is to Man United, well, then they'll have the money. They'll have the money to get Jackson as well, 70, 80 million, whatever. They'll have the money. Maybe sell another player. A lot of their players were on loan last season, coach. So they had a lot of players on loan. All their 3 or 4 of their starters were on loan. So they're all gone. So that's all off the books. So they will have money, in my opinion, if they do sell Watkins. Like I said, Unai Emery knows him very well. He's the one that converted him from a winger to a striker. So yes, there's a link there as well. So those two clubs, in my opinion, would go for Jackson. They would try to go for Jackson if that's the case, if they lose their strikers, because there's no one really else that would go there. There's not many people left, unless they go for some unknown player. But where Unai Emery is with Aston Villa, he wants to win now, and the same with Eddie Howe, he wants to win now. I don't think they'll go for an unknown player, in my opinion, because that will only set him back. So at least Jackson, he can do it. and the style suits for both systems suits very, very well. So yeah, that's what I think about that.
Okay, right. Thank you so much. And Peter Saizi, sorry, I'm not sure why I'm not seeing your comment on the screen here, but on the smaller screen, I could. Apologies for that. But hi to you too. I do hope you're doing well. Garnacho for 30 million is where we can sign this is why. Yeah, Houston, it could happen. I'm not sure his salary right now because that's usually
Fifty
that's
thousand,
again.
coach. Salary is
Sorry.
not a problem. He's only 50,000 only.
Wow. So yeah. So they're not going to be in a hurry to sell him, really.
Yeah, the salary is not a problem. They can cover
Yeah.
that
If the
easily.
salary was an issue, they probably would take the money and run.
But they also don't want to keep a player that's very, very unhappy, doesn't want to be there. So that's, yeah, they will sell. He will be gone. There's no way Amarim keeps him around. No chance.
All right. Pay attention, people. Stop keep clamoring why fans should just again hope that Jackson stays. I think if he stays, he makes us stronger. Whichever club he joins, he makes them stronger because he's a good player and he's proven he can do it in the Premier League. Up to December, Jackson had a better conversion rate than Isaac. In fact, he had the best conversion rate in the league. Haaland and Isaac, etc., had more chances per game. He also had more open play goals. And Houston, I'm just gonna go back. If he leaves, it'd be because he wants to leave. I don't think fans' opinion matters. I don't think he wields any measure of influence with regards to whether he wields any measure of influence on whether he stays or leaves. It's up to him. But if we're to believe reports that we've addressed here, some mentioning that he's open to joining United, he's weighing up his future, then it looks like he will eventually leave. And Dante, I wanted to ask you quickly, do you think if Newcastle sign, if they push now and bring like 80 million plus on the table and Chelsea sell Nicholas Jackson to him, which I don't think happens. I think he'll probably stay for this season and then decide what to do next. To see again, he probably stays and sees how things pan out for him. Do you think we go for Shesko or do you think we'll be fine
No,
and not push to sign
no,
another striker?
no, they're not going to sign another striker if that happens. I don't see that happening. No, there's no chance. Sesko's not coming in. Delap's that guy. João Pedro's that guy. Sesko's not happening for us. That's no chance. I don't see
But
that
it's
happening.
a case of if he stays, fine. If he leaves, fine.
He leaves. It gives us more money. It gives us a option, maybe like a Garnacho, another pure winger, which I said we're pretty short on a pure winger. Only Gittins really is a pure winger. Pedro Neto is probably the other pure winger. That's it. The other ones are not really pure wingers. They're more inside forwards, inside
Mhm.
wingers, more behind. They're not out and out wingers. So yes, it gives us a bit of money. We can go splash 30 million on Garnacho, and that would actually be that's a steal for me for the type of player he is at his age. You know, I think that's a steal, and he's only going to get better as well. So yeah, I think that's what we do. I don't think we sign another striker. No, definitely not a Sesko. No, not another striker. Maybe if that's the case, then that, like I said about the dominoes falling, well, maybe we don't go for Garnacho at all anymore. Maybe
Dante,
then
just
we
give me
do,
1 second. I'll be right back.
yeah, sure. Maybe then we don't go for Garnacho if that's the case. Then maybe Morgan Rogers becomes a possibility because we have that money, and Morgan Rogers can play on the left. He can play in behind. You know, he's strong. He's fast. He can play as a false nine as well. He's a big guy. He's I think 6'1" or 6'2", big, strong guy as well. Fast, physical. So he's quite versatile. Morgan Rogers, like, can play the 10, can play the left wing, play out wide, inside, all over the place. So maybe then that becomes an option. But yeah, I think that's a while ahead. A lot of dominoes need to fall for that to happen. So yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. But Sesko, no, I don't see us saying a Sesko. We wouldn't have signed the lap. and we got João Pedro, I don't think that would be the case. No, I think they're still very high on the lap, and I'm still very high on the lap as well, to be honest.
I'm high on him. I think it was a good decision, and I think even he is a much better signing for us than Osimhen. But if you're going by their record, it'd be easy to just conclude Osimhen would have been the better signing for us. And the lap at Chelsea actually plug and play, and I can't stop saying
Yes,
that for reasons, given the fact that he's played under Enzo Maresca. He did play under Maresca at Manchester City, played alongside Cole Palmer, Romeo Lavia. I think that makes a huge difference and proven that he can actually perform in the Premier League.
massive.
Was a
And under
standard
pressure,
performer
yeah.
in a team as that got relegated in Ipswich Town. That's not an easy feat. But go ahead, what you're saying.
And look, when he came on in the Club World Cup final, like he took 2 wonder saves from Donnarumma to he would
To
have had
stop
2
him from
goals.
scoring the press, yeah.
Yes, so shows you the impact he has if he comes off the bench or he starts. He's got all that. He's got that profile we needed. We don't have that physical striker like he is. Instinctively shoots at first sight.
More
That's
importantly, you can
yes.
argue
So yeah,
that's actually
especially
one of the
yeah,
major differences between him and Nicholas Jackson. He shoots
yeah, and he
instinctively.
bullies
Nicholas
defenders.
Jackson, in most cases, hesitates.
Yeah, it bullies defenders, keeps them honest. If he's not going to have an impact that way, he's going to keep those defenders busy and wrestle with them. Push them around. That tires out defenders as well. That's a tactic a lot of coaches use as well. So it gives Maresca another tool, another option. But yeah, his ball striking is top level for me. I've seen ball strike a lot, and he's very top level on the run or from the standstill as well. So yes, 100%. I think they believe in him. That's why they signed him. They're not going to bring a Sesko on top of him, especially a Sesko that is so expensive. If you're going to buy a player like a Sesko, 70 million or whatever, well, for that fee, he's basically you're buying him to be a starter.
I don't think he would want to come either.
No, he wouldn't want to come and compete
Yeah.
against João Pedro, and I don't think he would. He wants That's the type of he wants guaranteed game time to be the main man. That guy, yes.
Yeah. Staff, thank you for that. I appreciate you. One net Lalo Ebukadike Udodi. Sorry, people. I had to. He said something in my native language. I had to respond in the same manner. But thank you, Ebuka. I appreciate you joining. We need a Hato and a Xavi. Here we go. It needs to be done. Both. I have confidence we can get both those across the line. But don't hold your breath because I said so. Anything could still happen. So let's see what happens here. Garnacho to Chelsea looks like it's going to happen because there are some reports that suggest, that we want him. The question now is the asking price, and I don't think United will sell him for cheap because 50,000 per week, not a lot of money. So I don't think they'd be in a hurry to sell him. The only difference being that the manager, we weren't there a time when the manager told him that he's free to leave. We've heard
Correct.
that, right?
He said it publicly, yeah.
So that makes a whole lot of difference. He shouldn't have said that, but that helps us. I think any club that ends up signing him will get him again for a good price. So this year we did had this conversation, and you can argue the possibility of that happening in 2 years' time or in a year's time. You could argue is the driving force behind the club looking to offer him a new deal because it makes sense. But this year, from the transfer guru himself, Fabrizio Romano reads a Chelsea plan to offer a new deal to Marc Cucurella. He's a key part of the long-term project. He is again. He doesn't have to be the most vocal to be seen as a leader. I think he leads by example. An excellent player. Good move because if we wait one more year or two, I think we'll be in a very, very would it be right to say peculiar situation? A difficult situation, maybe, just to simplify the language there. But Dante, your thoughts?
Yeah, we talked about this at length quite a bit, and I had it on the tip of my tongue. I'm like, don't be surprised if we're going to offer him a new deal to try to wrap him up and avoid that situation exactly. So, look, it's still not a given because it depends what type of contract we're going to offer him and how much we're going to offer him and how that's going to be offered.
More importantly,
What type of
it's
terms?
important. Yeah, go
How
ahead.
How incentivized will that be? What's the base, etc.? Because that would be very interesting to see. Um, it's no guarantee the player will accept that either. So we'll have to wait and see, because he's on a very high wage already. Well, high wage compared to our other players, most of our other players, because he's on 175k. So that's the higher level of our players. But look, he deserves it. I think he deserves more than that, no problem. But they can't give him much more than that, because if they do, well, then you start causing problems. So
Oh yeah,
um,
they're not gonna make an exception. I don't see that happening.
yeah, no, I don't think they will. I think they'll come to a compromise though, because it will be heavily incentivized, and the way we're
Except, how about if we have a clause that would just trigger his contract by 2 years or a year? I think we do that first.
correct. Especially we know, even our previous ownership, when players hit 30, they never signed those players more than a year. They're always a year
Yeah, the new
extension, a year
contract is usually
extension.
1 year extension.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
I don't think that will change under Clear Lake. I think that would probably be even tighter controls on that one. So yeah, so it'll be interesting to see the contract we offer him, what it will be, the terms, and hopefully they work it out. If they do, well, yeah, that's perfect for us. You wrap him up, but the length will be very important too. Like I said, because 30 is, he just turned 27, so he's got another 3 years, basically, exactly 3 years till he turns 30. But they're not. I don't see them offering him a 6 year, 7 year
Just go
contract.
ahead and let me just create a poll quickly.
No problem. I don't see them offering him a 6, 7 year contract like we have others. Not even probably a five. Maybe, but 32, 33 years old, oof, you're pushing it. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see how they do this contract. This will be the first probably of its kind for a player that's hit his peak. He's at his peak age now. He's in his prime. What are we going to offer a player like that at that age? And there is, even though a lot of people say there's no chance, there's no risk. Even I said it. There's not a high chance of him leaving. But he's not. He's not English. He's Spanish. They always love going back home, and he has said in the past that he would want to go back to, Barcelona. So yeah, those players always have a little bit of a higher risk of going back there, or even Saudi. You never know. Yeah, just because of the pure, he's won with us. Say we win the Premier League next season. Well, then he's kind of won everything, or the Champions League with us in
It'd
a
be,
way.
it'd be
So
even more easier for him to leave.
yes, exactly. So I think that's very important as well. So how things go. But look, he's still a Chelsea player, and I still think he will be. But yeah, very interesting to keep an eye on this contract, because
I
this
think
will set.
nothing happens this season.
No, not this season, but they already started talking about it, because they know started talking about it, and because you're coming into that last couple of years of your contract, you need to sort it out. They need to sort it out. This contract will set precedents to others, so this is a very important contract the way they do it. So it will be very interesting to keep an eye on this one to see how it goes.
How likely do you think you could say we've discussed the complications, not in existence yet, expected complications? You could argue, which includes the fact that we offer a different form of contract, or you could argue, say, a contract with different construct of contract, heavily incentivized, and he's not under one of those. It's not on one of those. That
No,
makes it difficult. Given him making an exception, giving him a contract extension or a new contract, long-term contract, in its current form, creates a problem. So, considering all those factors that we've talked about, how likely do you think he agrees and stays, again, signs a new contract in its current form, the one he's on right now, than you could say accepting a heavily incentivized contract? I don't know. It's difficult to say, really.
it's difficult. And that's why I said this contract will, precedence to other contracts and other players. Now, there is a little bit of a pecking order in a dressing room. He's one of the more mature players, 27. Like, we've got our Caicedos, Enzo's 22, 23, 24. They're not at that mature, that age, and there's always a pecking order. People don't know, but there is always a pecking order in the dressing room. They do get respected because they're at that age, they hit their prime. it's accepted for those players to get played a little bit more. Always doesn't matter, it just is. That's how it is. That's why I said this will set a precedence, because when they come into their prime in the next 3 years, those players, well, then this contract will set a precedence. How much they going to pay Cucurella, and how is that
And
structure?
the
How is
sort
that
of contract
contract
they'll
going to
be
be
looking to
structured?
sign.
Yeah, so yeah, very interesting. Will be interesting to see. I'm sure Clear Lake, they already would have this probably written down the way they're going to do this. They probably already know. So yeah, it will just be very interesting to keep an eye and see what happens. And if the player accepts, he doesn't, if it's going to drag out, what will happen? It's very, very, very important contract, because this is the first one that they're going to do. Like, a player hits his prime, getting closer to that 30. In Tosson's there, but Tosson's a different type of player completely. He was on a free transfer. That's completely different. Not really, like a world class player like Cucurella is. So yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. We need to shove you. Here we go. We talked about that. Bobby, sorry to hear about that. It does happen sometimes. And George, Staff is saying also Rugani from Juventus last season, now back at Juventus. I think I've seen two comments. Some of the comments don't show up here. I'm not sure why that's the case. You have two entries. One says Ajax loaned Yaros from Liverpool. Is that how you pronounce that? Or Jaros? I don't know, from
I don't know who that
Liverpool
is.
just last season. And then the second, I'm able to see the second one. I'm not sure why I didn't see the first one. Okay, there you go. Ajax loaned Jaros or Yaros, I'm not sure, from
Who's that?
Liverpool last season. And the second name you mentioned here. So, yeah, thank you for that information, because I don't remember any, but thank you for educating us. And then we have Mr. Kuran Luman. If you heard me, sorry, you use more than three emojis. That's why the AI that's policing the chat deleted your message and timed you out for 5 seconds. It's not a human being; it's a machine. So please do not use more than three emojis. I think we'll leave it like that. Actually, it's good so the comment, live comment chat session is stays clean. All right. Let's see what else you have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And Bobby says, I hear Cucurella will be given a 2-year extension on a higher point of the wage structure and the further increment on bonuses he has earned dependent on club success. Okay. Thank you for that information. I hope we keep him. You can say he's arguably not one of actually, arguably our most important player it's been one of our most important players for a while now. Yeah, unorthodox approach sometimes, but it works. But I hope that happens. Bobby, thank you for that information. What about Garnacho from Manchester United? Amos Moses, it looks like it's going to happen, but I don't know. I cannot say for certain whether it happened. But as Fabrizio Romano, he said 1,000 times, keep an eye on Garnacho to Chelsea. Big up to you too, AB. Nice to see you. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. So this here reads from Simon Johnson Sports. He reads, several Premier League clubs have inquired about Keenan Drewsbury Hall. Chelsea will only consider a permanent sale and will demand a fee of £30 million. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dante, he's one of those players that we're not looking to sell. But if he wants to leave, he has our blessing. And it looks like he may well end up leaving. But I think he should, honestly, as much as I love my club, I think he should leave, find a club where he'd play regularly and get to represent England, honestly, before it's too late for him. But let's see what he does. But let's say you Dante.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to that. But sorry, coach, I do have to go. My son just came
All
home from
right,
my
all
work,
right,
so I have
all
to
right.
go.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll see you on the next show. So hopefully Bobby can get on with his Wi-Fi. Stop blocking Bobby. Let him on, please.
You think I'm looking? All right, man. Talk to you later.
Take care,
Be
guys.
careful under the sun. Don't get sunburned.
No, 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 I won't. Bye bye. Take care.
All right, bye. All right. Okay, yeah, there you go. I think it will not delete that. Yeah, you used more than three emojis before. From Vietnam. Nice to see you. Thank you so much. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. There's Gong, there's Luman. I'm just gonna go with Luman. Thank you for joining the show. Feel at home, express yourself. All we ask of you is just to keep it civil. Here, your opinion matters. So Keenan Driscoll Hall. Shockingly, a lot of Chelsea fans want him to stay. He's become a fan's darling for. Given you can say he's a consummate professional, hardly doesn't complain whenever called upon. He's given 150%, and I like him. Let's see. Caroline Michelle says, "What's the update for Chelsea transfer window? Jorrel, Hato, and Xavi Simmons. You can say Hato first, and probably after that, then we'll see. Here we go for Xavi Simmons to Chelsea Football Club. Both deals, we've heard from the transfer guru himself, Fabrizio Romano, are close. How close? I don't know. But let's see. It looks like they're close. I think we will. You could argue why the reason I'm confident that we will eventually get both deals across the line is the fact that the two players in question both want to join Chelsea, and they've made it clear they want to join Chelsea and Chelsea alone. Even though there are other clubs interested, they've made it clear they want to join us, and that helps. So let's see. But I think Hato to Chelsea happens first. But thank you, and that's from Samson Shun. Samson, thank you for that question. IB is saying, I am still not convinced on the lab. I one decent season and suddenly he is a hurricane. Nobody has said he's hurricane. We understand that he's not quite polished yet. We understand it will take a season or two to get there. But believe me, I think you'd look back and say, yeah, we made a good decision for reasons I've explained. And I said this 1,000 times that the lap out Chelsea will be plug and play. He's played under Maresca, I think scored how many goals? 17 goals in 22 matches or vice versa, but nearly 1 goal per game. So it should be the other way around. He's played alongside Cole Palmer, and I think he brings you could say a different profile that complements what we have already. So I'm not concerned, but you have every right to be. It's your opinion, but we'll see what happens there. So Bobby says that Chelsea must be strong, nothing less than 80 to 100 million pounds. If for Nicholas Jackson, I'm guessing if anyone wants Jackson, 25 million, no more for Garnacho. He's another midget, and Chelsea don't need any more short players after Simmons. Jesus Christ, Bobby. But I get your point. Caroline Michelle, I bet it's a positive news of both. The double Dutch, yeah. Positive news. I think we'll be able to get those deals across the line. But that's my opinion anyway. Let's see. Chelsea is doing, yeah, we're doing great. I think signing both makes a huge difference. Simmons, because he's more of a 10 than he is a winger, brings more balance to the squad, reduces the creative burden on Cole Palmer. Both can actually start in the same game, but in the situation, if at any time we have, you could say, the manager decides to rotate, will still be good. Or if one of them gets injured, the other one, will still be fine with one of them. And defensively, actually, Siemens does better than Cole Palmer, but I don't think it makes sense to start comparing both players. We are lucky to, if we get the deal across the line, then we'll be saying we're lucky to have both. Pride of London, yes, Caroline, thank you for saying that. I have a feeling the lab will prove a better outcome than Jokeres, honestly. And I'm going to say this: he wasn't my first choice. But when I realized this, I think it was Uncle Jesters, one of those that I knew, Dante also, and some of our kind of friends in the community and brothers in the community knew that he was always going to be the lab, and he was never my first choice. Osimhen wasn't even my first choice. My preference at the time was Gyökeres, but when I realized that that the lab was the club's of focus, I took some time to do a research and realized actually he's the better option, even over Osimhen for reasons I've explained here. I get it, Osimhen's exploits in Europe, in some of the biggest leagues in Europe. For some of us, for the average fan, Usually they don't look beyond that. A good example would be how people were calling for the club to sign Nico Williams over Jamie Gittins, even when numbers show that the better of the two players for us to sign would be at the time would be Jamie Gittins. But I'm glad we pushed on to sign Jamie Gittins. Let's see. We have Samson Nation saying Jackson should stay and play at the left wing as before in as just as he did in Villarreal at Villarreal. Histon, we know, and we've talked about this 1,000 times. Our valuation, the reported Chelsea's valuation of Nicholas Jackson is reflective of the fact that the Chelsea aren't looking to sell Nicholas Jackson. And I've said this, but I'm going to say it again. If Jackson ends up leaving Chelsea, it'd be because he wants to leave, not because Chelsea wants to leave him, wants to sell him. And if he stays, he makes us stronger. We'd have a much stronger squad if Jackson stays. If he leaves, if he joins Newcastle, he'd make them stronger. Man United, he'd make them stronger. So I want him to stay, but I've come to realize that it's up to him. If he doesn't, again, if he sees that he will become the third choice striker, I think he'd push to leave. Yeah. All right, Caroline Michelle says Siemens is a versatile player. He's going to relieve work for Parma. Yep, no place for Garnacho. He's an average player. More like Wadeke. Here's my opinion on the possibility of Garnacho joining Chelsea. If he does, I'll support him. Um, and I've learned to trust our scouts and sporting directors. But just get the manager whatever player he wants. Has Chelsea signed Hato and Simmons? Not quite. Senior, how do you pronounce your first name? Litopi? Uh, I apologize if I didn't pronounce that correctly. I'm sorry, but let's go with Senior. No, but you could argue both on the verge. We could get here. We go for Hatter today, and then Simmons when I don't know. But yes, then the interesting thing, one thing to pay attention to. Fabrizio Romano here says, understand Jorrel Hatter deal now very close. I think it happens. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I'm not sure really. So I think we're getting closer. Again, we're getting at the point where we'll exhaust all the items we have lined up. But when we do that, we go news hunting, and then after news hunting, we call it a day. 27 likes. We should be doing a lot better than that, but usually when we stream in a vertical format, people find the like button isn't easy. But here's how you do it: press and hold your screen for just about a second. Then you see the bells and whistles, which includes the like, comment, share options, which really would like it to help us garner more likes. Yep, we're not a big account yet, so we still beg for likes. So let me get a few of give the microphone back to those of you in the chat. Then I will come back so that we can address the items we have left here and go for news hunting. Get done with news hunting and call it a day. Okay. All right. And to Chelsea, sign Garnacho and rugged front. Good morning to you two. House. Any particular delay on Hato and Siemens? No. We. I don't think there are delays. Negotiation process and signing a player isn't just something that gets done by the time you snap your finger. There are lots of you can say factors to consider, image rights. There are all the stuff like performance bonuses, selling clauses. I don't know which one, but it's not really not that simple. For me, the signs are good, and for Fabrizio to have said that Hato to Chelsea is now very close. Discussions at the final stages and all that. I think it's looking good. Siemens also I think will happen, but I think we get it. Here we go for Euro Hato first. So stay hopeful. He will be again better playing from such angle with full strength and pace. Yeah, I agree with you, Samson and Shun. Thank you for saying that. And Rugged Frankie, I do hope you're doing well. All right. For Sanchez, game over for Sanchez? No, not game over for him. We've heard that he's going to be our starting goalkeeper again in the coming season. Yeah, and I think he's improved. Hopefully, the improvement continues. And hopefully, he stays in that trajectory. High claims, which have helped us deal with set piece situations quite a lot better than we did in the season. You can say at the start of the season or the season before. All right, this item, the last one before we go news hunting, and then after news hunting, we'd call it a day. This one here, give me sport. It reads that Chelsea wanted to take advantage of Aston Villa's uncertain financial situation by buying Morgan Rogers this summer. However, it could take up to £90 million to get the deal done. Not going to happen. I don't see us paying not for 70 million. I think for that price, I think probably we're not going to go to the table. So news on time, and if you have any questions, drop it in the chat session. I will try to address your question. And remember, the rule is don't ask a difficult question. If you do, I pretend I cannot see your question. Okay, are we missing anything? I'm gonna refresh this one more to see if to be sure that again, if anything new had emerged as the show progressed, we'll be able to see the most updated news items there to talk about before we call it a day. But if you have any questions, drop it and I'll try to address it. And again, disclaimer: I do not know everything. I'm not perfect. I'm human. I will try to address your question and follow the rule. Do not ask any difficult questions. All right. Caroline Michelle also said Donnarumma is more experienced and knows what he's doing, and showing confidence in how. I disagree, Caroline. Hesitant. Donnarumma is awful on the ball. And Ariel, see, he doesn't come close to Robert Sanchez. Forget the fact, yeah, he won the Champions League and yeah, everything he'd won with PSG. I will keep Sanchez over him. If we're talking about Mike Mayer, then fine. But for Donnarumma, no. Why do you think Luis Enrique want him gone? Why do you think they're not offering him a pay rise? He's not that good. Maybe he'd become better in the future because he's still very young. But I urge you to take some time. To take some time, go compare his numbers to that of Robert Sanchez. Yeah, honestly, we don't want the Nayuma. But Caroline, as I said, I'd rather we keep Sanchez. I've taken my time to compare their numbers. He's not that good, and if high claims isn't his thing, then we have a huge problem with them because we're talking about the Premier League. We've improved in terms of dealing with set piece situations because Robert Sanchez he started doing well in terms of coming off his line to come claim the ball. So that has helped us a lot. And Robert Sanchez is actually an excellent shot stopper. Do I think we can do better than him? I'd say yes, but that person in question isn't Donnarumma. I used to think that was the case, but no, you need to go look at their numbers from the just concluded season. Yeah, even I will take what's his name? I will take even Jorgensen. I know he's still inexperienced, but he's an excellent shot stopper too, and excellent on the ball. The question I want to ask you is why do you think Luis Enrique, why do you think he's allowing PSG again? He's not pushing PSG to give him a new contract because yeah, he's not that good. And in terms of playing out from the back or what Maresca demands of the goalkeeper, I think we're the same. He's the same. He's similar to Luis Enrique, and Donnarumma isn't that guy. You could argue that Luis Enrique had to make do with what he had, but now he wants again a much better goalkeeper. And for me, I'm gonna go back to saying, do I think we can do better than Robert Sanchez? I'd say yes. And Caroline, if you've been paying attention, Robert Sanchez, I think his biggest issue is the lapses, occasional lapses in concentration, and that has reduced significantly. And if he can actually, if he can learn, if he can overcome that, then he'd be one of the best in the world. Just lapses in concentration, that's it. He's excellent in terms of orchestrating long balls. I don't trust him. I trust Jorgensen better with regards to calmness on the ball and all that. If you get the message, and G Win, if you're listening, apologies that your message got deleted, but it's not again not it wasn't a human being that deleted your message. It's the AI that's policing the chat. So please do not use more than 3 emojis to not experience that issue again. So Caroline said, what about Sanchez? I'm not saying he's the best. I'm saying we can do better than Robert Sanchez, but that do better shouldn't be Donnarumma. He's not the one. Maybe if you talk what's the Portuguese international, the Porto goalkeeper, yeah, bring him. Maybe Emi Martinez, yeah, bring him, but not Donnarumma. Maybe he's not that upgrade. I'm not saying Sanchez is the best we can do. No, we can actually do better than Sanchez. I agree, but not for Donnarumma. But Sanchez is awful. Yeah, I know that he's not perfect on the ball, but he's better on the ball than Donnarumma. I'm serious. That maybe just see it as my opinion, but go take a look, compare. Honestly, why do you think Luis Enrique want him gone? Yeah. So if we get him, we're not getting an upgrade. And G Win, thank you. I like your name. Very simple. He's apologies that your message got deleted. And as I've said, I did say a few seconds ago, it wasn't deleted by a human, but an AI, the AI that's policing the chat. So to avoid that, do not use more than 3 emojis. But more importantly, it looks like this is your first time here. And I say welcome. Feel at home, express yourself. Here, your opinion matters. All we ask of you is just to keep it civil. So thank you. And everybody say welcome to G Win there. So Caroline says, "Oh no, he's good. Maybe he decides to leave. I hope so. If he decides to leave, fine, up to him." Yes, you're right. I'm talking about the lapses in concentration, which could be the difference between you winning the league or getting, you can say, not winning the league. But here's something I heard that got me thinking that when Maresca, I don't know, Maresca or someone important was asked about Robert Sanchez's mistakes, he says his cases are peculiar. I don't know if that was the exact word used, that he will save you more points than his mistakes will lead, again, compared to his mistakes leading to you losing a lot of points. And if you remember, there was one particular game where what's his name? Fofana, I think it was it against Bournemouth, was dribbled as if he wasn't there. It was 1v1. And had it not been for that excellent save from Sanchez, I think we would have that game lost or maybe ended in a draw, but we would have dropped points. And in the Club World Cup final, if you're, again, let's assume we're serious about comparing him with Donnarumma. Remember, he did better than Donnarumma. There were clear-cut chances that he didn't look as if that he was going to let that go in, and he didn't win the best goalkeeper in that competition by mistake. He was truly the best, and I'd say, yeah, stick with him as long as we continue to defend as a unit. As long as the 2 6s we start do enough to screen our defensive line effectively, then you'd hardly get a chance to test him. Even when you do, he'd come up strong and save the day. But yeah, you get it. Who do you think? Diogo? Yeah, that was the guy I was thinking about. Diogo Costa. Yeah, I'd take him. But Donnarumma, no, not an upgrade. Coach, what do you think of Felix moving to Saudi Arabia? A good thing to an extent. He's been, I don't know. I liked him. I still like him. I think he's been quite unlucky. I think you could argue something I did say yesterday. His biggest mistake was to start off in again after leaving Benfica, joining uh, the Atletico Madrid. It was never going to end well. Had he gone to Barcelona, maybe Manchester United, or you could argue even Real Madrid, I think he would have had again been one of the best players in the world right now. But on the Simone at Atletico Madrid, the way he plays, how he prioritizes defensive contributions from players, he was always going to struggle to reach his potentials. Unfortunately for him, you can say fortunately for him, so to speak, he's still very young. So maybe a good starting point will be Saudi Arabia. I think you play at Saudi. I'm not saying he's perfect. The pattern of how, again, things has happened in his career suggests there's something wrong on his path. You can argue to some extent he has an agent that doesn't mind, doesn't care, really care what happens to his career, but wants the money. And I'm leaning towards that aspect, the latter, what I said again, the latter, because I think it was somebody we read that here actually saying that he's actually a money making machine. In essence, that particular agent, another agent is saying that his current agent is using him as a money making machine and doesn't really care where he ends up. That may well be the case because he doesn't come across as an individual who'd be problematic in the dressing room or something. But something isn't quite right. But good luck to him. Fortunately, he's still very young, but because he's one of those that emerged early on and again onto the big scenes, it'd be easier to think that he's in his late 20s. No, he's still very young, really. But good luck to him. I think it'd be maybe after the Saudis under the mentorship of Cristiano Ronaldo, he comes back to Europe a better behaved player. If his behavior has always been the problem, but I'm not sure what really is. I really like him and would have loved Maresca to create a healthy competition between him and Cole Palmer, but Maresca Dean. And the only complaint I have about Maresca since he joined us was that he openly said that João Felix wasn't playing because we have Cole Palmer. I didn't like that. If I were João Felix, if I hear that from my manager, I'd push to leave too. You could argue that was the reason why he pushed to join AC Milan, and the rest is history. That he joined Milan and then shot up too. Probably the reason why Chelsea didn't want him back again. After he said something that suggests, yeah, he'd prefer staying at Milan than coming back to Chelsea. And then they started cooking him. Journalists and all that. One says he's as useless as he's beautiful. Jesus Christ. But that's why I don't want to talk about that because he's a player I like so much. I Yeah, it's about opinions. I don't but thank you, Carolina. I appreciate you saying that. Vic Mon says wow, okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining. And Azubike Ojinwane Dalo. Azubike, I'm not sure what to make of the H there, but thank you for joining the conversation. When are the squad reporting to camp? I read something with regards to that on the 4th, I think so, or 6th. I can't remember the exact date, but I don't think they were all reports back to Chelsea the same day. I think a few of them will have an extended holiday. I'm not sure. Apologies. I think I should know, but I'll get that information and then share it with you guys the next time we stream. Okay, what is that? Okay, and my whole life. Okay, Gloria, honey, Gloria, thank you for that information. Gloria says she's 42-year old and her whole life had loved two teams alone, Brazil and Chelsea. Wow, from Guyana. Houston, my friend. I think I did see something from my friend on X, Jessica Frotta, albeit online friend. We're all Chelsea fan, and she said something like "Make Chelsea Brazil again." Chelsea is Brazil again, and Brazilians don't fail at Chelsea. So Yeah, good to have you here, Gloria. Thank you for joining. And he said, one day, inshallah, that she will be at Stamford Bridge. Yeah, amen to that. I haven't been to the bridge. I've been to Chelsea games here in the United States, especially when I lived in the East Coast. I've watched a few of their games live because I lived close in New Jersey. A lot of their preseason games, whenever they play in the US, are played in that New Jersey stadium there. But thank you. Good luck. I think it will happen. Keep the hope. What do you think about Rodgers? He's a good player, but I don't think we need Rodgers now since we're signing. If we get Sam Simmons deal over the line, we don't really need Rodgers. Rodgers is one of those players that's more of a 10 than a winger. If I say if again if he has to begin, if I had to choose between him and Simmons, I'll take Simmons. Simmons has a lot more to his game, but if we're able to sign both, I'm okay with it, honestly. Why sell Madueke when he's better than Neto? He wanted to leave. We didn't want to sell him. He wanted to leave. And excuse me, sorry about that. He wanted to leave. Yeah. I heard Mudryk is on his way to Australia to work on the Dante. That he's not gonna be Dante. Dante is vacationing somewhere special right now. Between Xavi and Rodgers, who's the best? The better player for me, the more complete of the two players is Xavi Simmons. But Rodgers, he has Premier League experience. Xavi doesn't, and there's no guarantee Xavi wouldn't need time to become used to the Premier League. Already, Simmons is already used to the what's his name? Rodgers is already used to the Premier League, and the chances are at Chelsea he'll become a much better player. So, but there's no telling. There's no guarantee. Let's see. Jackson and Sanchez should have gone. Um, I think both stays. Okay. They left me for 4 years, ridiculing me because of Chelsea, but we're back now, right? And we will be champions for 4 years, champions of the world, and they're not gonna like that. Yeah. Or not, no, not confirmed yet, and that's from Raisin. Right, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name. Let me just go with Raisin or maybe Raisin. Let's see. We should not get Rogers. If we get Simmons, Rogers from Aston Villa, I don't think we'll pay them anything close to that. We should wait for his until his contract expires. Would he wait for you? Yeah, that's the question you need to answer. All right. From Guyana, thank you so much for joining us. Alista from Guyana, sincerely do appreciate you. Feel at home, express yourself. All we ask of you is to keep it civil. Alista Gonzalves. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But thank you. Caroline, why would you say Madrid is better than all right, slug it out with them. Not my fight. You guys all right. We squad is good. Yep, we're good. And it looks like we're looking to win everything. And it's a good to be that ambitious. So if you end up not winning everything, then at least you get to win at least 2 or 3. So let's see, what have we missed this year? Chelsea are planning to offload at least 7 more players this summer as they look to balance their books. They are under pressure to achieve a positive transfer balance this summer, having been fined by UEFA for breaching their financial rules. I'm not concerned. I think we'll be all right. Honestly, I'm not concerned one beat. I cannot wait to see the boys giving out a beautiful game once again. Yep, that happens very soon. Samson Eshun, I think that will happen very soon, and we will have a lot of fun. More likes, people. I love it when I hear news that Matic is gonna to our London rivals, and if it makes you happy, Arsenal, they hardly ever win stuff whenever they sign Chelsea players. I remember when Mikel Arteta, I think it was Williams that said Mikel Arteta told him, and Cole Palmer, do not use all caps if you don't want the AI to delete your message. Told them that they were going to win the Champions League. Yeah, but congratulations to them. I'm a Chelsea fanatic. Alistair Gonzalez from Guyana. Much love to you. To love to meet Drogba. Okay, Lampard, Terry, Czech, and the whole squad of 2011. Yeah, some legends. I think one day you will. I mean, you will. If you go to the bridge, I think what does Terry do for Chelsea right now? I can't quite remember. But let's see what else we have here. Who are those players that need to be offloaded? I bet Jackson is one of them. I wouldn't say no. Jackson, I don't think one of them. The reported Chelsea's valuation of Nicholas Jackson is reflective of the fact that we're not looking to sell him. Okay. Are you fighting with Nightbot? Okay, the 7, let's try. And Nkunku is on the list. Who else? Nkunku, Benchu, well, that's 2. We still haven't sold Axel Disasi, that's a 3. Kani Chukwuemeka, that's 4. There's also the Nigerian French kid, Ugochukwu, that's 5. Who is am I Raheem Sterling, that's 6. One more. Who's that one? One more. One more. Maybe Keenan Driscoll Hall. I'm not sure. But Keenan Driscoll Hall, I'm not too sure. Yep, champions of the world. Thank you for saying that. Champions of the world, like Arsenal. Yep, 20 years ago, and they have the trophy for the 2 free kicks from Rice. And between Real Madrid. Fair play to them, I agree. Enough love to our iconic coach Jose Mourinho from Alice. Yeah, enough love to him. I think the fans still love him, but yeah, he's a legend. Between Nani and Zhao, we have already made 100 million in sales. That's a lot of money. I'm not concerned about our financial situation really. I want us to keep Jackson, but here's the thing, bro. Would he want to stay? That's the most important question. And if he senses that he's going to become the third choice, I think it pushed to leave. He needs the competition. He does need it, but it isn't competition when you become the third choice. If it's guaranteed that, again, if the manager you can say if it's guaranteed that that the manager will rotate, then I think he'd stay and maybe try to prove that he's the better of the 3 choices and get to be starting a lot more than those ones. And bro, since you're a moderator now, you can always share the link to your YouTube channel so people can go check it out. I haven't created a command that allow it again that will make it easier to trigger so that people can go check out your YouTube channel. So the question is, would he want to stay? I honestly do not know. That's the most important question to ask, and it does sound as if he's weighing up his future. If he's a good player, yeah, he just not starts. He just needs to start being efficient consistently in front of goal. It's really that simple. Chalobah, I think he stays. We're not looking to sell him. He's one of those players that if he ends up leaving, it'd be because he wants to leave. Yeah, big up to Tuchel too. Yeah, Tuchel, again, excellent manager. I wasn't happy when they fired him too. Yep, Chilwell. Yep, good one there. I'm waiting for Hato and Xavi. Here we go. I will be fuming if we bottle Xavi and get Garnacho. I don't think it'd be. I don't think he will. No. They're both of different profiles. If you haven't heard, if we sign Xavi, we'd still sign Garnacho. We're still looking to sign Garnacho. Viega, yeah, so probably a lot more. Probably up to more than 7. So that counts more than 7. I see somebody, and Smart Mato here mentions a Broya, definitely. So probably around 10 players, actually. Why are they not playing Chukwuemeka? That kid is insanely talented. He didn't want to wait. If I remember, the manager wanted him to stay. But if I were Chukwuemeka, I'd leave too. He's young and needs to be playing week in, week out. Okay, Ateta is going to be sacked eventually. After signing Gyökeres, if they don't win the league this season, I think he's going to be gone. We do, but you can, again, you have to mix it. All right. Thank you so much for finding the time to join us, Gloria, honey. We appreciate you. See you when you have the time to join us next time. Much love to you too. All right, we should assign them when we get okay. Yeah, let's see what happens there. I cannot wait to meet Barcelona in the Champions League final. Next, we're winning that. I think we can. I think we actually have a better chance of winning the Champions League and the Premier League. Premier League is it's tougher. Champions League much easier. Yeah, I hope another club gets Garnacho. I think. Listen, it's. I'm going 80-30 chances again, leaning towards him joining Chelsea. Honestly, World Bank Jackson should still so that Chelsea will not regret it. That sounds like a Niger brother. Jackson should still making no goal. Love you too, Caroline. Thank you for joining. Good day. I have to go back to work. Enjoy work and hopefully have a good day. Um, yeah, he will. Crespo, Joba, Kalu, Good Johnson, who was again were first, second, third choices. I don't remember, but in this case, he may well see it like that. I'm not judging. I'm not the manager. I'm not sure what plan the manager has. But I'm just saying, if Jackson feels like he's going to become a third choice, listen, the last game, the final in the Club World Cup, you saw what happened. He might well go by that alone. Yeah, so we don't know. Notify me. Yeah, just turn on the notification button, okay? Love you all, love you too. Thank you for joining, bro. Only support Chelsea FC, no the club, none of the rest, I swear. To Allah, again, stay safe, sister. God bless you, and thank you for joining us. All right. More likes, more likes. Okay, here. Chelsea app lining. Okay, we've addressed that. Um, Zhao Pedro. What a decision to join Chelsea. Jesus Christ. And yeah, won a huge become he again joined Chelsea and then in a few days, yeah, became world champion. Not easy, really. My bro, thank you so much. I appreciate you. You don't have to do this. You're my bro. Again, we should be growing together. And I made you a moderator so that, yeah, you can share the link to your channel. But I think I will create a command just like I did for others. Once the command is showing out, it will remind people to go check out your YouTube channel. Now, hopefully, we get you on the panel someday. If you're on X, send me a message. I'd like to add you to the panelist group so that whenever you have time, you can join. So my bro is saying we are winning the league this season. Okay, I will clip that. The Premier League cannot handle our team. Just get me a goalkeeper and one more centre back. One more centre back. I think I've heard Fabrizio Romano, but more importantly, bro, thank you for the donation. I sincerely do appreciate that. You really don't have to do that, but I'll take the support. And again, thank you. Fabrizio did say a month ago or so that we are also looking to sign one more centre back. Would have loved Guehi for the fact that he's Chelsea through and through, his leadership. But the asking price, even after 20%, I think that's a lot of money. Even though we have a 20% sell-on clause, which means we'd be able to get him for around 60 million pounds or so. Not a bad deal, but that's still a lot of money, given the fact that we're looking to balance the books and not get into trouble. But yeah, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate the donation. Always nice to see you again whenever you find time to be part of the conversation. Yeah, we need to get you on the panel here. I like watching your videos on TikTok mainly, but we need to get you on the panel here. If you're on X, send me a message and I will add you to the panelist group. Thank you so much, my bro. Much love to you. Says is Garnacho a good replacement of a Jamie Gittins? What? Gittins is a much complete player, and Gittins isn't going anywhere. Gittins a priority signing that will help us deal with low block situations. Goalkeeper, just quickly, I didn't comment on the goalkeeper aspect of your comment here, bro. I don't think we're signing another goalkeeper. Not right now. No. Maybe when Mayan becomes available, then we'll add him to the list to come compete, not to maybe dislodge or maybe bench what's his name? Bench Robert Sanchez, who is the best goalkeeper in the world right now. And he has the golden gloves to prove that he won. Yeah, after the Club World Cup final against PSG, he was brilliant in that game, and throughout the competition, actually, I think he did well. And do I think we can do better than him? Yeah, and we have discussed at length when one of our members in the chat here suggested we sign what's his name, Donnarumma, and yeah, I told him Donnarumma isn't is not an upgrade to Robert Sanchez. So, but let's see what happens. I don't think we'll sign another goalkeeper this window. I don't think so. But centre back, I'd say definitely. Remembering what Fabrizio Romano said a few months ago. Um, let's see, Kopama. I don't want a guy who thinks he's what? He's the man. This Garnacho guy is what every Ronaldo kid is. Flipping aura farming merchant. We don't want him. What if the manager wants him? What if the manager wants him? My bro here says Sanchez na scam. Houston, I, 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 I don't blame you for not trusting him, bro. I no go lie. I no blame you for not trusting him because yeah, even last again in the just concluded season, last season, I think that'd be the more accurate language to use there. Um, in one game, he's put a check. The next one, he's Onana. Um, but that improved from mid-season onwards. I think he's listen. I'm happy that again he's going to stay, but he needs a serious competition like an experienced head like Mike Mayor. I think will make a difference. We can rely on him because chances are he'd go back to being his old self. So I get it. So me, man, no trust him. I'm not gonna lie. Jesus Christ, my bro says I know na scam. Possibly, as they say at the time in Enugu, as they say on your film. That's how they describe goalkeepers that you cannot trust. That will be nice to them, then tomorrow becomes a different person. Yeah, yeah. But thank you for saying that. All right. You should be the Chelsea squad. You know, I don't know everything. I don't know everything. I don't. God forbid. If the day anybody starts feeling they know everything, honestly, you probably that person probably an idiot. I don't know. I don't even know a lot, to be honest. I like to learn every day, but I get where you're coming from because maybe what I said about Garnacho. All right, João Pedro, I love him. Obama, a thread there. Vince did share a thread there. All right. Cole Palmer's top 10 goals a thread. Okay. This is more of a commentary there. Garnacho is not directly linked to Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons is a topic, and Garnacho is a separate topic, according to the transfer guru himself, Fabrizio Romano, which means if we're after signing Xavi Simons, if we get a good deal for Garnacho, we'd still push to sign him, if that makes sense. So anything else here? Nothing new actually emerged as the show progressed. Garnacho to Chelsea is still an option. It's still a possibility being discussed internally at Chelsea. So we haven't concluded whether to go for him. If United are indeed asking for 16 million plus or something north of 60 million pounds, I don't think we'll still go for him. Still a possibility that they consider for the month of August, but that doesn't mean we're signing him. I don't know. And this one made me happy that Chelsea are already working on a new contract for Marco Correa. Chelsea are expected to submit a new contract proposal to Cucurella very soon. So we'll submit a proposal and hopefully he accepts it. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be upfront here. I don't think it'd be easy. If we're trying to get him to sign a new long-term contract, but Bobby did say that we're looking to give him a 2-year extension. Maybe on the still on the sort of contract he has right now, not heavily incentivized. Because let me not just go get to the extent that I'd get you, you can say, to stop being concerned about his future. But I'm just going to leave it at it's not going to be easy. It will not be easy because, yeah, I don't think he'd be willing to accept a heavily incentivized contract. I think he'd like it to be in its current form, and he would want to. We probably, maybe not too much of, again, I think the only issue would be if we try to get him to sign a new incentivized contract. Yeah. I'd say this again. I don't want him to, but if the manager wants him, that's it. Honestly, But you be careful how you use the dots so that the AI doesn't delete your messages, brother. All right. If you have any questions, drop it in the chat. Otherwise, I think it's about time we called it a day. We've been streaming for 2 hours and 39 minutes, and nothing new has emerged. And yeah, we'd still do a show later in the day if things change. All right. See you later, Code Palmer. I appreciate you finding time to join. Nothing new. So I'm gonna say bye. I think it's about time to say bye, really. I said, yep, nothing new. Nothing new. What do we have here? We've addressed this one. We refresh this. Let me just do it one more time. And if we don't see anything new there, then we call it a day. 2 hours. Wow, 40 minutes. That's a marathon stream. And who's that? Evans. Is that Odile? Advance Odile. That's an Igbo name, but nice to see you, Mr. Advance. I do hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. They say lateness is greatness, and we're about to round off just one more news hunting exercise here. Blank, taking some time to load. One more of that, then we'll call it a day. But while you wait for that to load, if you have any questions, drop it in the live chat session, and I'll try to address it. And remember, do not ask difficult questions. All right, why is this taking too much time? Jesus Christ. All right, let's see if anything new emerged. What do we have here? What do we have here? Some news. Chelsea are planning to offload at least 7 players. We've addressed that particular item there, as you can see. And I have my sister in the house, Miss Melino. Nice to see you. Good morning to you too. I can't complain. I can't complain. Life is good. Health, life, food on the table. So yeah, I cannot complain. It's been a minute, and one of these days, again, I need to be on one of your shows, really, to come custom some troubles. Hopefully, I'd be on the panel at the same time as Ryan, aka Kalito. I'd like to fight him. I don't like fighting fellow Texan uh, uh, in Justice. I love Justice. We're friends, we're brothers, and respectfully, we do disagree every now and then. People go and subscribe to Miss Melina's YouTube channel. She covers all EPL clubs and beyond. The link is provided there. Please let's do so and help her grow. She's a good friend, understands, very knowledgeable of the game, and yeah, enough respect for her. She deserves to have at least 100,000 subscribers, but she's getting there gradually. Hopefully, time again, work and life will allow her space to stream consistently. I think she'll get there quicker than a lot of people know, given her knowledge of the game. So with that, we've come to the natural end of the show. I want to say thank you to all of you for finding the time to be part of the conversation. Thank you to my friend and sister, Mel. Thank you for joining. Thank you to Cole Palmer for being part of the conversation. You're rebelling because you don't want the club to sign Garnacho. I don't want the club to sign him either, but if the manager wants him, fine by me. And Road King TV, my bro, thank you for joining. I appreciate you. I hope to have you on the panel very soon. And let's see. And people, since again, I can't find. If I try to do the LinkedIn now, it might break it. Just click the three dots to his name. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel. Produces content in Pidgin English. Very enjoyable. But yeah, his analysis all on point. I will create a command to make it easier for me to always share the link to his YouTube channel whenever he's here. Code Palmer here, and the staff was also here. Dante Constantin Dante was on the panel. Bobby couldn't join today. He had internet issues. IB was here. Who else was here? All right, that's it. If I miss your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.
Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shedding crew, born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we up to the chance. Paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shed and crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew. Born for this, I'm still blue. Still blue. Still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue, through the silence and the roar. Still blue, even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shed and crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance. Paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shed and crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe. Still blue, every year we grieve and dream. I carry the hope of the shed and crew. Born for this, I'm still blue. Footsteps on Fulham Road, moonlight on my pride. Wore this badge through highs and lows, never had to hide. Memories in Stamford breeze echo through my chest. Not every win is sweet, but I gave my all, no less. We sang through the rain, we danced through the pain. The pitch still remembers my name. Still blue through the silence and the roar. Still blue even when we don't score. I carry the soul of the shedding crew. You can't shake me, I'm still blue. Still here, still true. Woke up to the chance, paint cracked on my wall, but the pride in my heart never faded at all. Jersey frayed at the seams, but it still feels right. Been through darkest nights, still shining bright. We bled in the game, we rose with no shame. The bridge still whispers my name. Still blue, every tear and every cheer. Still blue, with my voice loud and clear. I carry the pride of the shedding crew. Win or lose, I'm still blue. From Drogba's fire to Ritz's run, we stood tall under every sun. Through Abramovich nights to new days begun, this heart beats for only one. Still blue, even when they don't believe.